Chapter 2204. Night Sorrow found that his idea had always been to defend. Defense was necessary, but a head-on battle was not impossible. If the demon-winged clan dared to enter the celestial realm, then he could cut off the demon-winged clan's retreat. Since we can't find anything, let's retreat. If they dare to come, then we dare to fight. Apart from the demon Imperial City's defense, they are not strong enough to fight a head-on battle. Night Sorrow said to Pu Luo and Lin Piaomiao. Then Night Sorrow left first. The celestial realm would be a battlefield in the future, and he had the awareness and plan to fight. However, Night Sorrow would never let the flames of war spread easily in the 9 domains world. Some problems should be solved if possible. Night Sorrow returned to Star Moon City and asked the clones of Qing Lin and Qing Wan about the situation of their 2 teams. Then Night Sorrow learned that the Chiho tribe had been completely destroyed. When Qing Lin and Emperor Tang arrived, there was not a single person left alive in the Chiho tribe. According to the divination of the divination master brought by Elder Zhaixing, Emperor Tang and his men chased down and killed 2 members of the demon-winged clan who were alone. According to Qing Lin, the demon-winged clan should have sent a large number of people this time, and not just a few. Then continue to kill. It's not something to be anxious about. Night Sorrow was open-minded. If there were troublemakers, then kill them slowly. The demon-winged clan did not have the ability to subvert the celestial realm at present. Night Sorrow withdrew the large group of people from Heaven Wasteland, but the elimination of the demon-winged clan within the celestial realm continued. Several Supreme Elders and Emperor Tribulation Elders of the Council of Elders followed the team to ensure the safety of the team. Mo Yuqing brought the majority of the team into a cave in a mountain using a space treasure, so that they could avoid some divination. Even if they were divined, the surroundings were dark mountain walls, and there was no reference to determine the location, so they could not be found. From today onwards, without new orders, don't move, Mo Yuqing said. Dark Feather said. She knew very well that now that their plan had been exposed, the movements of the heavenly concubine 100 races must be very big, and they would even capture them at all costs. Night Sorrow took the teleportation formation to Shindu City after the troops had returned to Shindu City. This time, he did not go to the Humanitarian League headquarters. Instead, he went directly to Yawu Mountain. He wanted to see King Yawu and exchange ideas with him. Fun Tian was not in the Yawu Mountain, and the only one who could cultivate in the Yawu Mountain for a long period of time was Night Sorrow. King Yawu, who was meditating, opened his eyes and nodded at Night Sorrow. Have a seat. Is there something troubling you? King Yawu gestured for Night Sorrow to sit down. He knew that Tran Hung and the Grand Elder were not in Tianhuang City. Night Sorrow was in charge of everything. Night Sorrow shook his head and told him about what had happened recently. He also talked about his views on the future situation. You're right to change your thinking. We can't dig a dead end. Since we can't dig them out, then let's not dig them out. If you want to fight, we'll accompany you at any time. We can't take down the demon Imperial City, but we're not afraid of them attacking. Last time, Mo Zhantian burned the power of faith. What will he burn next time? King Yawu smiled. It's good that Martial Uncle thinks there's no problem. The celestial realm is so big. It's too difficult to dig out hidden spies. I don't have a choice. Night Sorrow explained the root cause of his change of thinking. Let nature take its course. There's no need to make a big fuss. In addition, it's a good thing that Mo Tianji is willing to sincerely contribute to the 9-domain world. With her helping you guard the 9-domain world, it's unrealistic for anyone to break in. King Yawu was also happy because Night Sorrow had a great helper. Night Sorrow and King Yawu drank a pot of tea and exchanged views on the general situation. King Yawu told Night Sorrow not to worry. Even if the Demon Wing clan entered the celestial realm, they would not dare to show off. They were weaker than the 100 races of the celestial realm. If they really fought, they would be at a disadvantage. Besides, with the 9-domain world and the realm of chaos as their backing, the 100 races of the celestial realm were not afraid to fight. After receiving King Yawu's affirmation, Night Sorrow felt a lot more relaxed. He knew his thinking was right, but he still needed others to support him. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow left 2 jars of wine for King Yawu and was about to leave. Don't worry and do it boldly. Whether it's Marshal Uncle, the City Lord of Heavenly Baron, or the Grand Elder, they all support you. No one else will oppose your decision. If there's anything, just tell Marshal Uncle. This is Marshal Uncle's soul crystal. Leave yours too, King Yawu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took King Yawu's soul crystal and left his own before leaving Yawu Mountain. Seeing Night Sorrow leave, King Yawu nodded with satisfaction. He knew that Night Sorrow had a strong ability to control the situation. He could also convince the people, so he was not worried. He was not the only one who was not worried. Tran Hung and the Grand Elder were also not worried. That was why they left Heavenly Baron City and the Council of Elders to Night Sorrow. After leaving God's capital and arriving at Heavenly Baron City, Night Sorrow told Lin Piamiao, the Great Demon King, and the Grand Elders of the Council of Elders about his idea. It was a future strategy. The Golden Dragon King, Huang Ling, and the others were all supportive. The White Tiger Patriarch, whom Night Sorrow had never seen before, was also supportive. The White Tigers loved to fight, and were never afraid of battles. I've never seen Patriarch Lin before. Thank you for your approval of this tactic, Yi Shang said to the White Tiger Patriarch Lin Yuanjun. Young City Lord, you're too polite. Although I've never talked to you before, I know what you're doing. I also want to thank you for taking care of Lin Chuan. Patriarch Lin Yuanjun, who looked majestic and had a strong body, said, Patriarch Lin, you're too kind. Lin Chuan and I are friends and brothers. We've grown up together and worked hard together, Night Sorrow said. Young City Lord, you're too polite. If there's a battle in the future, just let me know. I and the White Tigers have never been stingy in contributing to the celestial realm. We're never afraid of battles, Patriarch Lin Yuanjun said. Night Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands at Patriarch Lin Yuanjun. I can't represent too many people, but I still want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. If we work together, there's nothing we can't do. Young City Lord, you can now represent Heavenly Baron City, God's Marshal City, and the Council of Elders. Don't be too humble, Huang Ling said with a smile. Night Sorrow is still young. I still need your support in some matters. Night Sorrow nodded at them. Night Sorrow, there's one more thing. The Heaven's Vault tribe is in a bit of a mess now. Should we let someone take over? Lin Piamiao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow slapped his forehead. This is all my fault. The Heaven's Vault tribe's high priest is involved in my past karma. Besides, he's also notorious, so I arranged for someone to deal with him. I didn't expect the situation in the Heaven's Vault tribe's territory. Which force is the Heaven's Vault tribe closest to? Chapter 2205. Two grudges, I guess. One is because of the inheritance of my cultivation technique, and the other is that he also had a conflict with me. Night Sorrow explained the dispute between him and the Heaven High Priest. The Heaven Vault tribe's development model is wrong. It's fine if they don't bully someone ruthless, but they're unlucky if they kick an iron plate. The young City Lord is that iron plate. Emperor Tang shook his head. He could only say that the Heaven Vault High Priest was unlucky. There was probably no iron plate harder than Night Sorrow in the celestial realm. The grudge between me and him is nothing, but I cultivated the cultivation technique of the Heaven Monarch from the chaotic realm, so I have to help resolve the grudge of his death. Otherwise I'll always feel guilty, Night Sorrow said. The young City Lord's actions are understandable. If he didn't do it, he wouldn't have died. He asked for it. That territory is closer to the Ice Phoenix tribe. Does anyone want it? If no one wants it, the Ice Phoenix tribe will take it, Huang Ling said. Huang Ling spoke, but no one else said anything. What do you think, young City Lord? Huang Ling looked at Night Sorrow and asked. The Ice Phoenix tribe can take it, but I hope that the Ice Phoenix tribe can be more lenient to the people of the Heaven Vault tribe. Whether they live well is actually my karma. Night Sorrow looked at Huang Ling and said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Huang Ling promised that the Heaven Vault tribe would be governed by virtue. Wu Lingfei would arrange the specific matters. You know our daughter. You can rest assured now, the Heavenly Astral King said with a smile. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Thank you, Spirit Emperor and Heavenly Astral King. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at the two of them. Night Sorrow chatted with the group for a while, and then left. He didn't want to disturb old friends from catching up. Origin Lord, what do you think? The Golden Dragon King asked the White Tiger tribe leader Lin Yuanjun. He has both ability and integrity, and he is decisive in killing. The 100 clans of the Celestial Realm need a human emperor like him. Lin Yuanjun had a very high opinion of Night Sorrow. As soon as Night Sorrow sat down, Aoi and Yonglei appeared. 13. Did something happen? Looking at Aoi and Yonglei, Night Sorrow was a little confused. He didn't understand what happened. After the Thunder Rumbling clan sent a letter of apology to the city in the sky, they declared war on the Medicine Valley. Not only the Thunder Rumbling clan, but the Yin dynasty of the Taiching domain also took action. The flames of war are already burning in Danding City, Aoi said. Aoi had just finished explaining what happened when Yin Huang and Lei Bao arrived at Night Sorrow's residence. Captain, I'm sorry. Yin Huang and Lei Bao immediately bowed in front of Night Sorrow. Lei Bao, what happened? Night Sorrow saw that Lei Bao's face was a little sad. Lei Zheng's grandson and the little princess of the Yin dynasty were beaten up by the people of the Medicine Valley. Their foundation was destroyed. Lei Bao exhaled and said, Captain, the little princess of the Yin dynasty, Yin Li, is my cousin's granddaughter. Every time I go back to the clan, she takes me everywhere. Now she's been bullied beyond recognition. Yin Huang clenched his fists so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. Why are two problems happening all of a sudden? Who can tell me what happened? Night Sorrow was a little confused because the situation was too serious. Yin Li went to the Thunder Rumbling clan with me as a guest and got together with Yin Zheng's grandson. When the two of them went out to travel, they met the Medicine Valley's training team. When the Medicine Valley's leader saw Yin Li, he was lustful and had a conflict. Yin Li and Lei Zhongyun were beaten up. Lei Zhongyun is Yin Zheng's grandson, Yin Huang said. Night Sorrow waved his arm and directly shattered the table in the mansion's living room. He was really angry. If it was another force, I would bring you guys to kill them right now. But I can't do it for the Medicine Valley. I really can't. Night Sorrow bowed to Yin Huang and Lei Bao apologetically. He felt very guilty. Captain, we hope that you won't stop them. We also hope that you can say hello to the Taixian Peak. This matter has nothing to do with the Taixian Peak, Lei Bao said. Ninth senior sister, you go and do this. Tell the senior brothers to give me face and not get involved in this matter. Also, tell them that I'm on the brothers' side. Night Sorrow directly expressed his attitude. Thank you, Captain. Yin Huang and Lei Bao bowed to Night Sorrow. Go. If too many people interfere, I will step in and take care of it. Night Sorrow waved his hand. He felt very uncomfortable. Yonglei left with Lei Bao and Yin Huang. She was on the same side as Night Sorrow. At this moment, Danding City was in a stalemate. The leader of the Yin dynasty was Yin Tianlong, and the leader of the Thunder Rumbling sect was Lei Zheng. Lei Zheng's body floated in the air. He closed his eyes and thought about something. He was waiting for news from Lei Bao and Yin Huang, because he respected Night Sorrow. He wanted to know what Night Sorrow wanted to do. Lei Didi, we will think of a way to make up for it. Why don't you guys leave first? Xiang Tianding said. The Medicine Valley was led by Chu Lingxiao, Xiang Tianding, and Lin Jingyi. There was a huge difference in strength. The Medicine Valley was strong, but that was only if the Taixian Peak was included. With the Taixian Peak, the Medicine Valley was the #1 sect in the 9 regions world. Impossible. Lei Zheng opened his eyes. Lightning snakes swam in his eyes. He was extremely angry. He was like Night Sorrow. He had high expectations for his children, but he didn't expect them to have great achievements. He only wanted them to live happily. But now something had happened. Then what do you want? Lin Jingyi looked at Lei Zheng and asked. She often trained in the Celestial Realm and the Chaotic Realm. In 1,000 years, she had also reached the Heavenly Monarch Realm. But compared to Yin Zheng, she was much weaker. One of the killers, Lin Xueqing, is your clansman, right? Is this how you teach your clansmen? How dare you violate the precepts of sex? Lei Zheng roared at Lin Jingyi. We will hand over the killers. Lin Jingyi said. Where are the killers? We asked for the killers for a few days. Do you think our words are nonsense? Yin Zheng was a little angry. In the city in the sky, Aoi told Gong Xian and the others about Night Sorrow's intentions. He wouldn't interfere. At this time, Yin Huang and Lei Bao arrived at Danding City. Many people had gathered in Danding City. Almost all the people from the 9 regions world's commander-in-chief residence were here. Of course, the highest commander, Night Sorrow, wasn't here. After Yin Huang and Lei Bao arrived, they nodded at Lei Zheng and told him about Night Sorrow's intentions through soul telepathy. Since you don't want to hand them over, then we have no choice. We respect the Realm Lord and the Taishan Peak. We won't attack the Medicine Valley. We won't destroy Danding City either. But your Lin family's power will be gone. Attack. Destroy all the properties of the Lin family and the Dai family. Kill anyone who resists. Yin Zheng stared at Lin Jingyi and the others. He then gave the order to attack. He controlled himself. The people who hurt his grandson were the clansmen of the Lin family and the Greenstone Peak Master, Dai Tongtong. Don't regret this. Lin Jingyi's expression changed. Are you trying to scare me? Lei Zheng snorted. Chapter 2206. How dare you look for the Realm Master after doing such a thing? Lei Zheng waved his hand and sent an energy palm towards Lin Jingyi. He had been unhappy with her for a long time. Lin Jingyi's expression changed drastically. She didn't expect Lei Zheng to attack without warning. Moreover, she couldn't withstand the suppression of his domain. She spat out a mouthful of blood and was suppressed. Dai Tongnian was also controlled by Yin Huang's nether wolf. At this time, Aoi and Gong Xian returned. After thinking about it, Gong Xian felt that it wouldn't be good if he didn't show up as the Valley Master. He had to control the situation. As for who the culprit was and how to deal with it, that was another matter. When they saw Gong Xian, Lei Zheng and Yin Huang nodded at him. They knew that Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, Aoi, and Chu Ning respected Gong Xian a lot. Seeing that Dai Tongnian and the others were about to speak, Gong Xian waved his hand. Emperor Lei, Emperor Yin, I already know what happened. This time, the people of Medicine Valley were in the wrong. We'll deal with it as we should. I just hope that this matter won't escalate too much. Thank you for your understanding, Valley Master. We won't do anything rash. It's just that the Lin and Dai families are too arrogant. They even dare to bully people. The cultivators of the 9 domains world are all virtuous. What have they done? What have their elders done? If the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. They are all responsible, Lei Zheng said to Gong Xian. Look at what you've done. You've disgraced Medicine Valley. Can't you be more careful? Can't you be more righteous? Bully people? What right do you have? Based on the reputation of others? Gong Xian said bitterly as he looked at the people of Medicine Valley. Sorry for making things difficult for you, Valley Master. We only want the culprit and their clan leader to give us an explanation. We won't implicate the innocent, Lei Bao said. Thank you, Emperor Lei Bao. Gong Xian looked at Yin Huang. We naturally have to give face to you, Valley Master. It's just that the Medicine Valley is in a mess now. Yin Huang nodded. Inform the troops to retreat. We will capture them ourselves. Lei Bao said to Lei Zheng. With Gong Xian's return and Lei Bao, Lei Zheng, and Yin Huang's support, the outcome of the matter was set. Everyone in the Medicine Valley is here, so I will say a few words in front of everyone. I am the Valley Master, and I have the responsibility to take care of the members of the Medicine Valley. However, I have no obligation to cover up your misdeeds. If you are unscrupulous, then you have to deal with the consequences yourself. Gong Xian's expression was very ugly. The troops from the Yin dynasty and the Thunder Rumbling School retreated. Lei Bao, Lei Zheng, Yin Huang and Yin Tianlong left. They wanted to personally go and capture those people. The battle between forces would not be carried out, but justice must be demanded. Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongnian were about to leave and visit their families, but they were stopped by Gong Xian because he had to hold a sect meeting. Looking at Aoi and Yang Lei, as well as the other disciples of Taishan Peak, Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongnian didn't say anything. Dai Tongnian didn't need to say anything. He relied on his seniority to become the Peak Master of the Blue Stone Peak. As for Lin Jingyi, the #1 Master of the Medicine Valley, it was a title that only the disciples of Taishan Peak, who went out to gain experience, were considered. Now that she dared to disobey Gong Xian's orders, she would be captured immediately. Chu Ning, Tang Tian, Ma Zhuang, and Mo Chun and Guan Yi of the God-slaying team were all kings. The Medicine Valley's meeting was held in the square in front of the main peak. Yu Yangyu and Hua Yinpeng, who were in seclusion, were both present. Last time, because of the bad atmosphere in the Medicine Valley, it caused the Realm Master to be disappointed in the Medicine Valley. This time, because of our bad behavior, others have come to slap us in the face. Don't we want the face of the Medicine Valley? In the past, I didn't say anything because I hoped that everyone would be self-disciplined. We are all from the same sect, so we should save face for each other. But now I have to say it. First of all, there are 2 personnel appointments and removals. Lin Jingyi is removed from the position of Elder, and Dai Tongyan is removed from the position of Peak Master of the Blue Stone Peak. Second, there are punishments for the bad behavior of the people of the Medicine Valley. In the future, we won't wait for others to come to our door. If we make a mistake, the Medicine Valley will kill them ourselves and slap them in the face. Gong Xian issued 2 orders, both of which had a great impact. Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongyan didn't say anything. They also knew that they had made a fool of themselves this time. If they had been honorable, they wouldn't have remained silent after Aoi and Yang Lei appeared. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. Yang Lei and Aoi's words were also effective. The sect will set up a law enforcement team with the authority to supervise the families and forces under the jurisdiction of the Medicine Valley. Gong Xian gave the 3rd order. He was now dealing with the matters of the Medicine Valley heavily. In the past, because of Night Sorrow, there were some things that were really difficult for him to deal with. Now, it was an opportunity for him to deal with the atmosphere of the Medicine Valley heavily. Eldest senior brother, if there's anything, go to the city in the sky and call us. Aoi and Yang Lei cupped their hands towards Yu Yangyu, their senior brother, and junior brother before leaving. The disciples of the Medicine Valley bowed and sent the 2 elders off. They knew that if the 2 elders didn't come, today's matter would definitely be blown up. It would really make the Thunder Rumbling sect and the Yin dynasty angry. At this moment, Night Sorrow arrived at the Yin dynasty. Although Night Sorrow didn't know anyone, others knew him. They brought him to see Yin Li, whose dantian was broken and the tendons in her legs were cut. Realm Lord. Seeing Night Sorrow, Yin Li hurriedly sat up from the bed. Child, you've suffered. As an elder, I didn't do well. But don't worry, there won't be any problems with your injuries. You'll recover very soon. You have to trust me. Night Sorrow helped Yin Li sit up and said, the people that Yin Li trusts the most are the Realm Lord and Grandpa Huang. Yin Li smiled. The Grandpa Huang she was talking about was Yin Huang. Seeing Yin Li's smile, Night Sorrow's heart ached a little. The forces under the Medicine Valley being so rampant was also related to him. Come, I'll bring you to the Thunder Rumbling sect and treat your and Lei Zhongyun's injuries together. Night Sorrow bent down and carried Yin Li on his back. Realm Lord, you can't. How can a child be on your back? The Yin family was a little anxious. I'm the Realm Lord, but I'm also a human. Yin Huang and I are brothers. His descendants are my descendants. Night Sorrow carried Yin Li on his back and entered the teleportation array. After arriving at the Thunder Rumbling sect and seeing Lei Zhongyun, Night Sorrow comforted the 2 children and began to refine pills. For ordinary cultivators, having their dantian shattered meant that their foundation was destroyed. But for Night Sorrow, it wasn't a big problem. After 2 hours, he finished refining the pills. Then, using the life force of the world's origin, he helped the 2 children repair their dantian and tendons. After Night Sorrow finished treating the 2 children's injuries, Yin Huang, Lei Bao, and Lei Zheng arrived. Thank you, Captain. The 3 of them bowed to Night Sorrow. You don't have to be so polite with me. I'm heartbroken that something like this happened. Naturally, I'll do what I can for the children. Night Sorrow reached out and patted Yin Li and Lei Zhongyun's shoulders. /M. The matter is settled. The main culprit and the leaders of the 2 families have been killed. It's been a few days. As the leaders of the families, they're too much. Lei Bao said. It's good that it's settled. Perhaps after experiencing some things, the Medicine Valley can return to its original path. Night Sorrow sighed. Chapter 2207. I won't see her. Deal with the aftermath yourself. She should understand that she took the wrong path. Under her protection, her family also took the wrong path. There's only so much affection between people. It can't be squandered. I've always wanted the best for her, but she really doesn't cherish it, said Night Sorrow. At this time, Lin Jingyi had indeed arrived in front of the heaven-sealing Great Hall. She shouted at the heaven-sealing Great Hall, but Night Sorrow ignored her. He didn't want to hide from Lin Jingyi. He just felt that there were some things that Lin Jingyi had to figure out herself. It was useless to say anything. As for how Medicine Valley punished Lin Jingyi, he didn't care. Looking at the heaven-sealing Great Hall, Lin Jingyi sighed. She knew that Night Sorrow was there. Even if he wasn't, Night Sorrow would know that she wanted to see him because he was connected to the world's origin. If he didn't appear now, it meant that he didn't want to see her. Lin Jingyi returned to Crepe Myrtle. Her position as an elder had been stripped, but she was still a disciple of Crepe Myrtle. In Crepe Myrtle's Great Hall, Lin Jingyi saw Yi Xiling and Tang Qianqian. Jingyi, what's wrong with you? Yi Xiling's eyes were full of disappointment. After last time, I made a request to my family, but they didn't take it to heart. As a result, today's incident happened. I also know that I have to bear the responsibility, said Lin Jingyi. It's good that you understand. Don't regret it only after your reputation is ruined. That would be meaningless. Don't disappoint me again. Yi Xiling sighed and left. She felt very embarrassed today. Lin Jingyi smiled bitterly. She knew that her reputation was ruined. Gong Xian didn't expel her from Medicine Valley because of the relationship between Night Sorrow and her. He left her a fig leaf. More. Seeing that Lei Zhongyun and Yin Li's conditions were stable, and that there was no problem for them to recover, Night Sorrow left and returned to the commander's residence. The commander's manor was no longer in the Grand Clarity region. It was in Nine Regions City. Night Sorrow hadn't visited the commander's manor for a long time. Now that he was here, Xie Lanjun, who was in charge of handling matters in the commander's manor, notified the others. Everyone knows about what happened in the Eastern Xian domain. This also shows that the strengthening of humanity and morality is not enough. Well, it can't be said that it's not enough. It's inevitable that cultivators will be of different levels, but this kind of thing has to be dealt with. Lord Lin Ke, arrange for Tianjin Tower to monitor the situation in this area. Those who bully men and rape women will be killed without any misgivings or consideration of their background. Night Sorrow said as he looked at Tianjin Tower. Lord Lin Daoyuan. Lin Daoyuan and Xie Lanjun nodded. Tianjin Tower had been strict with itself all these years. The development of the members under their command was on the path of elites. The results were great, and they had won Night Sorrow's trust. Also, the commander's manor's support for some emerging forces will continue. This is because the Nine Regions world will accommodate more cultivators in the future, and the competition will be fierce. Night Sorrow looked at the members of the commander's manor, and said. After everything was done, Night Sorrow returned to Sky City. Yang Lei and Aoi were back, and so were Yang Yu and Gong Xian. Master, elder senior brother is here. Don't blame me for what happened today. I really don't have the face to interfere, Night Sorrow said. 13. Everyone knows what kind of person you are. They only have themselves to blame. No one will blame you. Don't think too much about it, Yang Yu said. Gong Xian also tried to persuade Night Sorrow. He knew that Night Sorrow was in the most difficult position in this matter. On one side was a brother who had gone through life and death with him, and on the other side was the sect where he came from. Neither was easy to deal with. After learning about Gong Xian's arrangement, Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Gong Xian, who had not been very involved in the affairs of the Medicine Valley, was now going to deal with it heavily. Lin Jingyi was the strongest cultivator in the Medicine Valley, except for the Taishan Peak. Even if he had to deal with her, it showed his attitude. I've always wanted to develop the Taishan Peak well, but in fact, there are some things that can't be avoided. The Medicine Valley's reputation is the Taishan Peak's reputation. No one will feel comfortable if the Medicine Valley's reputation is lost. Since this is the case, we have to deal with it ruthlessly, Gong Xian said. Let's use both the carrot and the stick. Night Sorrow, if you have nothing to do, you should go back and take a look at the Medicine Valley. It's best if the Medicine Valley doesn't go downhill, Yu Yangyu said to Night Sorrow after thinking for a while. Night Sorrow nodded. In his heart, he also didn't want the Medicine Valley to go downhill. I heard from Ninth Junior Sister that Lin Jingyi went to the Heaven-Sealing Great Hall to look for you. Did she complain? Gong Xian asked with a smile. I don't know. I didn't see her. There's no need to. The truth is there. I don't want to hear what she has to say. It's meaningless. Night Sorrow shook his head. We left. The peak masters and elders of the Medicine Valley are still in a meeting. They have already changed their minds. This incident also caught everyone off guard. They can also see that other than Taishan Peak, the other peaks of the Medicine Valley together can't withstand the attack of an Emperor-level force. Yu Yangyu said. At this time, in the Great Hall of the Medicine Valley, other than Dai Tongnian, the other peak masters and elders were indeed in a meeting. Junior Sister Yi, today's facts have made us see clearly. Without Night Sorrow's support, and without Taishan Peak's support, the Medicine Valley doesn't have any strength. If any Emperor-level force came to crush us, we wouldn't be able to withstand it. It's better for us to be down to earth in our development. At the very least, we have to stand on our moral ground, Yin Beiji said. The North Pole Peak had a rank 9 Emperor-level cultivator. Qin Zhen was one of them. However, he couldn't step in when the Medicine Valley had a conflict with Lei Bao, Lei Zheng, and Yun Huang. Moreover, Lei Bao and the other two only declared war on the forces that made a big mistake. They didn't attack the Medicine Valley. In the past, Lei Bao, Lei Zheng, Nan Liyue, and the others made their forces endure for the sake of friendship. Qin Zhen naturally couldn't ignore friendship. That's right. Bullying has happened. Who can stand out and support the Medicine Valley? No one can. It's good enough that the other forces didn't gang up on us. We have to correct our position and think. Today's incident was really embarrassing. We're ashamed to be on their side. Duan Lei also expressed his opinion. I apologize for today's incident. It's my fault. Yi Xiling stood up and said. Junior Sister Yi, please sit down first. We've known each other for more than 1,000 years. We know what kind of person you are. However, you've been a disciple of Crepe Myrtle. What happened during this period of time? If we don't change, the Medicine Valley might collapse. Who would be willing to be on the same side as the black sheep? Taishan Peak despises us now, Yen Beibei said with a bitter smile. It's not that we despise you. If we despise you, I wouldn't have come as an elder of Taishan Peak. In your words, we've done something wrong. Who can be so shameless as to cover up the shame? Taitsong, an elder of Taishan Peak and the junior brother of Yu Yangyu said. It's imperative to clean up the forces under each peak. We have to go back to the way it was before. We have to return to the path of the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley is our Medicine Valley. It's where all of our glory lies, Xueqi said. Chapter 2208. Night Sorrow told Huang Ling about the holy nature of the World Tree. He also said that the selected people had to be chaste. Hearing this, Huang Ling was stunned. There's such a requirement? I don't know about this either. Go and ask now. Don't waste your time. Watching Huang Ling leave, Night Sorrow also knew that this request had come too suddenly. Cultivators had 7 emotions and 6 desires. Some people cultivated the heartless Tao, but very few. Most people had feelings in their hearts. They would have Tao companions and would get married to have descendants. An hour later, Huang Ling and the Heavenly Astral King arrived at Night Sorrow's residence. Huang Ling looked a little embarrassed. Young City Lord, I've embarrassed myself this time. Other than Fei, or the others can't do it. This group of people is not tight. They really don't live up to expectations. Huang Ling was a little embarrassed because the selected people did not give her any face. It's okay. Just let nature take its course. Night Sorrow smiled. This was within his expectations. It was good that they were not completely wiped out. You're still in the mood to smile? There's only one left. Huang Ling was very shocked. G=E positive our version hashtag, first I hair. Actually, the one who succeeds is often the only one. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Huang Ling. The Heavenly Astral King patted Huang Ling's shoulder. Young City Lord is right. One is enough. More are just decorations. You too. He said it's okay, and you also said it's okay. Huang Ling rolled her eyes at the heavenly astral king. The heavenly astral king smiled. Night Sorrow, don't mind. Women are all like this. Night Sorrow smiled. He knew that this was a sign of a good relationship between husband and wife. After chatting for a while, the heavenly astral king and Huang Ling left. After leaving Night Sorrow's residence, Huang Ling said, "Fortunately, Fair did well. If she didn't have chastity and the selected people were all wiped out, the two of us would really lose face." The heavenly astral king nodded. He naturally understood that if the selected people were not good, they would have wasted 30 years. They would not be able to explain this to the heavenly desolate city lord. Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea for himself. He was mentally prepared that the members chosen by the Ice Phoenix race would encounter problems. "What are you thinking about?" Always sat beside Night Sorrow. "Nothing much. Did Master and eldest senior brother go back? If you don't go back, then try to persuade them to stay in Sky City for a few more days." Night Sorrow asked. Aoi shook her head. They all went back. Eldest senior brother's attitude has changed. He wants to deal with the Medicine Valley with a heavy blow. Master naturally has to support him, so they all went back together. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that some things were inevitable. In the past, Gong Xian had an attitude of letting go, but now it was time for him to act. 13. I don't like Lin Jingyi. Some of her mistakes in the past can be explained by the fact that her relationship was not smooth and she was young. However, there are some things that she has no bottom line for. If she was serious about managing the family, such things would not have happened. The Lin family, a second-rate family, is so arrogant because of her support. Don't see her in the future. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and said, "If Sixth senior sister says she won't see me, then I won't see her. I will listen to Sixth senior sister. She probably won't see me in the future." Night Sorrow smiled. If one asked who Night Sorrow listened to the most among his wives, it would be Aoi. Aoi rarely asked Night Sorrow for anything. Everyone thought that Aoi knew right from wrong and understood the big picture. If the Medicine Valley has really changed, we can still go back more often. I like the Bamboo Forest Pavilion and the Bamboo Forest Peak. Aoi said. Night Sorrow nodded. All right, I will go back with you when I have time. Don't take this matter to heart. Lei Bao, Lei Zheng and Yin Huang were forced into a corner. If it was me, I wouldn't have let this matter go so easily. They have already restrained themselves. Night Sorrow knew that Aoi was a sensitive woman who valued relationships. I know. Why would I blame them? The Thunder Rumbling clan was suppressed so badly by the Medicine Valley in the past, and they endured it. This time they really went overboard. Sixth senior sister, you understand. Aoi smiled. She knew that Night Sorrow was being considerate towards her, and was afraid that she would have a knot in her heart. After that, Aoi told Night Sorrow about Yi Qingyan and Johnny. She told him about the development of their relationship. She wanted Night Sorrow as a father, to care more about her. Sixth senior sister, I have known about this for a long time and have also noticed it. Johnny has a good heart, and is open-minded and kind. All these years, I have been teaching him like a child. Night Sorrow smiled. You didn't tell me anything and made me worried. Aoi glanced at Night Sorrow. Children and grandchildren have their own lives. Johnny is eldest senior brother's child. It's good that we know his background. We don't have to care about their matters. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Aoi and said, I am relieved that you know what to do. Here are some robes. Aoi took out a few battle robes and handed them to Night Sorrow. Haha. If you want to marry a wife, you have to find someone who loves you. Johnny might not be so lucky. Your daughter is not like you in this aspect. Night Sorrow said after keeping the robes. That's not right. Women change. Once they find their other half, their thoughts will change. The most important thing is whether they love him enough. Yang Lei walked over with a pair of battle boots in her hands. Haha. Yes, look at your ninth senior sister. She used to have a big personality, but now she knows how to care for you. Aoi laughed. This is my fortune. Others can't be envious. Night Sorrow felt warm in his heart. His family was harmonious, his wife was virtuous, and his son was filial. This was what he was most grateful for. Yes, if one isn't enough, you can marry two. If two isn't enough, you can marry three. How can you not be blessed? Young Lei sat down and looked at Night Sorrow with disdain. Night Sorrow didn't know how to reply. He felt a little awkward. You don't know, right? Father gave the order to the children. The boys can only marry one. Before the girls get married, they have to make an important request. They can only marry one wife. Otherwise, there's no room for discussion. The Yi family girls can't marry. Mother also supports this point. Aoi laughed. Yes. I didn't do this well. I don't have the face to say this to the children. The parents made a good request. Night Sorrow rubbed his face. He had always been strict with himself, but when it came to marriage he really didn't do it well. Seeing Night Sorrow's embarrassment, Aoi and Young Lei both laughed. This was because only they could see Night Sorrow like this. There's one more thing I didn't tell you. We threw Lingxi into the celestial realm. We told him not to return home until he made a few friends and brought a few close friends home. Young Lei said, That works. That's right. Lingxi can't always play by himself. This is a good idea. After being stunned for a moment, Night Sorrow felt that this was a good idea. We discussed it together. We asked him not to reveal his identity. This way he can have true friends and true love. Aoi said. Chapter 2209. Aoi and Young Lei looked at Night Sorrow with disdain. However, they couldn't refute him because the children of the Yi clan were indeed outstanding. This was publicly acknowledged in the 9 regions world. Most importantly, they were virtuous and had inherited the Yi clan style. The children's talent is one thing. The main thing is that they were brought up well. Of course, the children were taught by you. It's all thanks to you, Night Sorrow said. These were his heartfelt words. He had always been fighting outside and didn't really care about his family and children. You didn't interact much with the children and didn't teach them verbally. However, no one taught them better than you. You are a role model in front of them. They are also strict with themselves. Aoi nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow didn't spend much time with the children. However, he was definitely a qualified father. After chatting for a while, I'm really happy. Let's go to the restaurant and have a good meal, Night Sorrow said as he stood up. Aoi and Young Lei were also very happy. Night Sorrow's current state was very rare. Night Sorrow accompanied his wife to the restaurant in the Immortals' capital to eat. Unexpectedly, Night Sorrow met Yi Shaluo. Yi Shaluo was also drinking in the restaurant with his friends. Yi Shaluo wanted to greet them, but Night Sorrow and the other two turned their heads and pretended not to see them. Where were we? Yi Shaluo looked at his friends at the same table, when he saw that his father and aunt didn't want to see him. You said 1 against 3. Continue. Let's see where you can go. A woman said. I'm serious. I'm not lying. Yi Shaluo pouted. 1 against 3? Forget it. It's not that interesting. His Majesty the Human Emperor defeated 5 Imperial Emperors on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge, with his Emperor realm cultivation. We'll talk about it when you can defeat 5 Imperial Emperors. Next topic. Come, let me moisten your throat first. The woman poured a cup of wine for Yi Shaluo. Luyu, it's boring for you to chat like this. I'm in high spirits. Do you think I'm bragging? Yi Shaluo said unhappily. Everyone at the table was laughing and asking Yi Shaluo to continue. Night Sorrow smiled at Young Lei and Aoi. I can see that this guy is not like me, but he's living a happy life. Very good, a bunch of high-spirited kids together, this is life. Aoi said with a smile. Little guy? Any one of them is older than us, Young Lei muttered. The truth was just as Young Lei had said. Those who came out to train in the celestial realm, and were at the same cultivation level as Yi Shaluo were not young. Night Sorrow's father could not even compare to them. After all, it was rare for a genius to have such achievements at such a young age. Shaluo, you are a cultivator from the Primal Chaos region. It is said that the human emperor used to be from the Primal Chaos region. Have you seen him before? Luyu, the woman sitting beside Yi Shaluo, asked. Yes, it's very common. Yi Shaluo nodded seriously. Tiske. Shu. Everyone at the table was mocking him. Although they were mocking him, There was no disdain in their eyes. They were all joking. A bunch of bastards. How am I supposed to play? How am I supposed to drink this wine? Yi Shaluo slapped his forehead. He was telling the truth, but no one believed him. Aoi and Yang Lei wanted to laugh. They were really happy to see Yi Shaluo like this. Shaluo, lower your voice. Look at how quiet and civilized their table is. Pay attention to your manners. Lu Yu tugged at Yi Shaluo's sleeve. My voice is a bit loud, but you can't say that I have no manners. It doesn't sound nice. Yi Shaluo lowered his voice. He felt embarrassed that he was being called uncivilized in front of his father and aunt. No one else would do that except him. 6. Look at the original chapter. Night Sorrow, Aoi, and Yang Lei casually drank 2 cups of wine and had some food before leaving. Before leaving, Night Sorrow called for a waiter. Pay for that table too. That's not good. How can we do that? We have disturbed the 3 of you. Lu Yu stood up and said, It's nothing. It was fun listening to you guys chat. If there's a chance, you guys can treat us to a meal. This is good karma. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded at Yi Shaluo. Young people are not bad. You are high-spirited. That's how it should be. After Night Sorrow and the other 2 left, Yi Shaluo and the others sat down. Those 3 are not simple. A man said. His name was Jingyu. He was the oldest person at the table, and also the one with the highest cultivation. He was an emperor. His aura is extraordinary. That man's smile is like a spring breeze. It can penetrate the bottom of one's heart. Although his eyes are calm, they can see through everything. Lu Yu said. The 2 women are emperors. The man is even more unfathomable. He looks like an ordinary person. Can he be an ordinary person? Obviously not. Then there is another possibility. He is at least an emperor. Jingyu said. There are only so many emperors in the celestial realm. Which one is it? Lu Yu muttered. If I say I know, you guys won't believe me. Yi Shaluo said. Then don't say it. 8 out of 10 sentences are unreliable. Fortunately, he is reliable. Otherwise. Lu Yu looked at Yi Shaluo with disdain. In the eyes of the group, Yi Shaluo was righteous and sincere to his friends. However, they did not listen to him. Yi Shaluo sighed in his heart. He really knew, but no one would believe him. There were some things he did not want to say. He did not want their friendship to become impure. The group of them did not care about family background. They only cared about personal relationships. We are done eating and drinking. We have to continue. We still have to dig out more spies from the Demon Wing race. In addition, I plan to join the Heaven Wasteland Army. I don't know what you guys think. We will have fewer chances to meet in the future. Jingyu said. I have to consider this. I have to ask the elders. Yi Shaluo said softly. I have to ask the elders too. Lu Yu looked at Jingyu and Yi Shaluo and said. Don't worry. We have communication crystals. We can meet at any time. Even if we are separated, we can send a message if anything happens. Brothers, friends, this is for life. Another man said. His name was Langley. He was the first to know Yi Shaluo. How do you feel seeing your son like this? After leaving the restaurant, Yang Lei laughed and asked. Interesting. It's good. Night Sorrow also laughed. He felt that this was real life. Lingxi will be like this in the future. Aoi said. She knew that Night Sorrow was most worried about Yi Lingxi. As for Yi Xiaoke, he was just a little tyrant. He lived in the ethereal empire. That was his mother's territory. Night Sorrow, Aoi, and Yang Lei only went to the divine capital for a drink before returning to the Heaven Wasteland city. His cultivation realm and combat skills had reached a bottleneck. Night Sorrow's life was quiet. On Night Sorrow's day he met Puluo. Alliance Master, Lu Qi has successfully entered the tribulation of the 6 emperors. He wants to celebrate. Shall we go to his Lu family manor later? Puluo brought news of Lu Qi. Chapter 22:10. Of course, we have to prepare some gifts. Night Sorrow nodded. Lu Qi had helped protect Xingyue City for so long, so he was very grateful. Okay, I'll go ask the Great Demon King and the others. If you want to go, we'll go together. Puluo said. After sending Pu Luo off, Knight Sorrow took out 100 Monarch Spirit Stones and 2 Emperor Spirit Stones and put them away. He didn't need to think too much about it. Using Spirit Stones was the most practical way. The Lu family manor is very famous in the celestial realm. However, I've never heard of a disciple of the Lu family traveling in the celestial realm. Lin Piao Miao, who had been in the manor, said, "Maybe it's like our family. The disciples of the family don't report their background when they go out. They rely on their own abilities." Yang Lei smiled. Some families were like that. Knight Sorrow and the others nodded. They all supported Yang Lei's point of view. Then let's wait for the news from Pu Luo's side and go there together. A tribulation of the 6 emperors has appeared among the 100 clans of the Heaven Realm. This is great news, Yishang said. He was very happy to hear this news. Pu Luo returned quickly. He still had some things to do with the Great Demon King. He would go with the Great Demon King, Yu Zhu and Ruisi later. He wouldn't go with Knight Sorrow. You guys go. I have to watch the Divine Devil Castle and see if there's any news from the Demon-Winged clan. You can represent me. Lin Piao Miao said. She had a lot of things to do now. Knight Sorrow nodded. Everyone knew that Lin Piao Miao was busy. Lu Qi didn't mind. After preparing the gifts, Knight Sorrow took Aoi and Yang Lei to the teleportation array and set off. For hours later, the 3 of them arrived at Lu Qi's family territory. Because of Lu Qi, the Lu family was a famous family in the celestial realm. However, they didn't have much contact with other forces. It was a quiet and peaceful area. Lu Qi lived in a simple place called the Lu family manor. However, the manor was very big. The direct descendants of the Lu family all lived here. Knight Sorrow and the other 2 arrived at the Lu family manor's teleportation array. As they enjoyed the scenery along the way, Yishang and the other 2 arrived at the entrance of the Lu clan's manor. Lu Qi was already waiting. Both he and Yishang were mid-stage Imperial Tribulation cultivators, so they could sense each other's aura. He could also identify Yishang's aura. "Young City Lord, you're so busy but you still came. Please come in. I have to drink with you and the 2 young madams today." Seeing Yishang grow up and reach the middle stage of the 4 Emperor Tribulation, Lu Qi was very pleased. After entering the manor, Lu Qi took the 3 of them to a quiet courtyard. "Lu Yu, take out the great ancestors' good tea to entertain the guests." "Okay." A woman came out with a pot of tea. Seeing Yishang and the other 2, the woman was stunned. Yishang was also stunned because she was the one who was drinking with Yi Xiaoluo at the same table. "Why are you 3 here?" Lu Yu said after being stunned. "What do you mean you 3? Don't be rude. Hurry up and greet the human emperor and his 2 wives. Young City Lord, please don't be offended." Lu Qi glared at Lu Yu. "Ah." Lu Yu greets the 3 lords. Yi Xiaoluo, this scoundrel, really knows how to swindle people. How dare he say he's seen the mortal emperor? That day, the mortal emperor was right in front of him, and he didn't even recognize him. "Yi Xiaoluo. Young City Lord, isn't that your family's 4th brother?" Lu Qi was a little confused. He looked at Knight Sorrow and then at his great-grandson Lu Yu. He had stayed in Xingyue City for a long time and knew Yi Xiaoluo. "Haha. 7th sect elder, you must be joking. Our family's children don't talk about their background and family matters when they go out to train. This way, they can have true friends and find Dao companions in the future. Their feelings will be pure. I support this." That day, Xiaoluo was drinking with his friends. I met him by chance and didn't let him say hello. "You're Lu Yu, right? You can't blame Xiaoluo for this," Knight Sorrow said with a smile. "That's too abrupt. I'm familiar with Xiaoluo. I didn't mean to scold him." Lu Yu was a little embarrassed. Scolding a child in front of his parents was a little unreasonable. T latest chapter Bu Festival %2 it's nothing. As his father, I support him to have his own life. He can't be influenced by his elders. I believe that your circle doesn't know that you're a descendant of the 7th sect elder, right? Knight Sorrow shook his head. Lu Yu nodded. She also never said that she was a descendant of the Lu family manor. The 2 of us have the same view. Our achievements are the result of our own hard work. We can protect the future generations from being bullied. But that is not the right for them to flaunt their prowess. Lu Qi nodded. Your Majesty and great ancestor, Your realms are too high. Only now do I realize that Shaluo is telling the truth most of the time. We're a bunch of fools. We all thought that he was bragging. Lu Yu was still cursing Yi Shaluo in her heart because this made her lose face. Ha! Now that you know, it doesn't affect anything. No matter what you do, it's important to have a good start. In the celestial realm, I admire the children of the Yi family the most. Every one of them is so outstanding. The Yi family was the biggest winner in the Heaven, Earth, Human, and Monarch ranking assembly. Lu Qi gave Knight Sorrow a thumbs up. 7th Sect Elder, you're too kind. The Yi family is a new family. There's still a long way to go. Knight Sorrow said. You can see the future by looking at the present. The Yi family is virtuous and has a good family style. This is the inheritance. Lu Qi said. Then Lu Qi apologized. In order to improve his realm and cultivation, he left the Tianhuang city and the sect elder's stall. Knight Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao had to work hard to take over. 7th Sect Elder is too polite. This is a small gift to congratulate 7th Sect Elder. Knight Sorrow took out the gift. Great Ancestor, take a look at what His Majesty gave. Lu Yu was very interested in Knight Sorrow's gift. Lu Qi glared at Lu Yu. It was very impolite to open a gift in front of a guest. I'm a careless person and don't know how to choose a gift. I just took some high-level spirit stones. I hope it will help 7th Sect Elder. Knight Sorrow smiled. He felt that Lu Yu was not bad. She was not pretentious and said whatever she wanted. After looking at the gift, Lu Qi shook his head. The young city lord is in charge of the Tianhuang city. There are many places that need this. I can't accept it. Knight Sorrow said that he still had more. Only then did Lu Qi reluctantly accept it. His Majesty, I want a gift too. Lu Yu shouted. Knight Sorrow rubbed his forehead and looked at his two wives. I didn't prepare anything. What's suitable? You bastard girl. You're getting more and more out of hand. I love you the most in the family. You're going to turn the world upside down. Lu Qi looked at Lu Yu and laughed. He knew that Knight Sorrow wouldn't mind. I heard that His Majesty is an emperor-level blacksmith. I want a weapon. It doesn't matter if the weapon is good or bad. It's fine as long as it has His Majesty's signature. The most important thing is the words. Lu Yu said. In fact, she didn't care about the gift at all. What she wanted was Knight Sorrow's signature. Chapter 22:11. Even if your Majesty knows, don't say it out loud. It's too awkward. Lu Yu said with a smile, but she didn't feel awkward at all. Then I'll make it for you. Knight Sorrow nodded and began to search for the materials. Bastard girl, hurry up and make tea. In addition, go and take the 2 jars of wine that the great ancestor treasures and arrange for the servants to prepare the dishes. After Lu Qi chased Lu Yu away, he looked at Knight Sorrow with an embarrassed expression. He hadn't expected Lu Yu's move. Knight Sorrow nodded at Lu Qi and took out the Clear Sky Pagoda. He entered the Clear Sky Pagoda and began to forge the weapon in the time acceleration. He didn't need to ask Lu Yu for anything. Lu Yu had a sword at her waist and Knight Sorrow could see her attributes. That was enough. Half an hour later, Knight Sorrow appeared with a long sword. Lu Qi was talking to Aoi and Yang Lei while Lu Yu was listening. Seeing Knight Sorrow come out and the long sword in his hand, Lu Yu's eyes were filled with excitement. It should suit you. See if you like it. I haven't forged weapons in a long time. Knight Sorrow handed the weapon to Lu Yu. At this moment, Lu Yu carefully tidied her robes and bent down to receive the sword with both hands, showing her sincerity. Extreme to the sword, extreme to the Tao. Very good. I hope this weapon will be of use to you. Knight Sorrow placed the sword in Lu Yu's hand. Lu Yu was a little presumptuous today. I hope your Majesty and the 2 madams won't take offense. Lu Yu will pour wine to apologize later. Lu Yu bowed to Knight Sorrow. He won't. Yishan shook his head. Lu Yu, you have to remember that the Yi family doesn't lack magnanimity. Otherwise, Great Ancestor would have coaxed you out. Lu Qi looked at Lu Yu and said. Lu Yu nodded. She understood some things. G-positive #version 2M. After the banquet was set, Lu Yu poured some wine but didn't sit at the table. She knew the difference between the young and the old, which was also the upbringing of the Lu family. Seventh Elder, let Lu Yu sit down. This isn't appropriate. You don't have to treat us as guests, just treat us as family, Night Sorrow said. He couldn't say how the Yi clan behaved normally, because this was the Lu clan. Lu Qi nodded to Lu Yu and asked her to sit down. Lu Yu, great ancestor, has something to say today. You were able to meet His Majesty because of good karma. You must cherish this good karma, and do your best. Great ancestor thinks highly of you in the Lu family. Lu Yu stood up and bowed to Lu Qi and Night Sorrow. Lu Yu will remember this. I hope your Majesty can give me some pointers in the future. Night Sorrow gestured for Lu Yu to sit down. You and Xiao Luo are friends. If Xiao Luo has any shortcomings, you should give him some advice. While chatting, Lu Yu asked Lu Qi if she could join the Heaven Wasteland Army. Lu Qi objected. He explained his point of view in front of Night Sorrow. He felt that serving the Celestial Realm's 100 races didn't necessarily mean that she had to join the Heaven Wasteland Army. Lu Yu was in the cultivation stage, and it was most important to improve her cultivation first. The Celestial Realm's forces needed young people to continue. Xiao Luo wants to join. Does your Majesty agree? Lu Yu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I think he's also in the cultivation stage. There's no point in rushing to join the Heaven Wasteland Army. If there's a war, he can fight at any time. If he's not part of the Heaven Wasteland Army, he can't fight? Of course, this is only my opinion. He can make his own decision, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. After hearing Lu Qi and Night Sorrow's words, Lu Yu gave up the idea of joining the Heaven Wasteland Army immediately. She was sure that Lu Qi and Night Sorrow both had a big picture view and their views couldn't be wrong. After staying in the Lu family's manor for a day, Night Sorrow left with Yang Lei and Aoi. 13. Is Xiao Luo's matter also mostly resolved? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Ninth senior sister, you're thinking too far ahead. They have a good relationship, but I can't say for sure. Let's just let nature take its course. Night Sorrow smiled. After Night Sorrow left, Lu Qi began to lecture Lu Yu. He hoped that Lu Yu wouldn't tell the others about Yi Xiaoluo's background. What happened in the past, what will happen in the future. However, he emphasized that the Yi family was sincere. They could be trusted and could be friends with them. After promising Lu Qi, Lu Yu took the weapon Night Sorrow gave her and left the Lu family's manor. What was she going to do? Naturally, she was going to show off to Yi Xiaoluo. After returning to the Tianhuang city, Night Sorrow began to cultivate. In less than 2 years he would go to the ancient world. The world tree was a supreme treasure, and the 100 races of the celestial realm wanted it. In addition, if he could get the world tree, and if he and Mo Tianji contributed greatly, he would tell the elders that he wanted to put his hopes in Xingyue City. He also had to consider the 9 domains world. Night Sorrow also planned to talk to Tranheng and King Yewu about this. Of course, the premise was that he could get the world tree. While his doppelganger was cultivating, Night Sorrow only cultivated the Heaven Attraction chant. As for the primordial destruction / Night Sorrow still didn't feel anything. He also knew the reason. It was because the level of the infinity attribute was low, and there was a gap between it and the other attributes. In other words, the bottleneck of his infinity attribute was the bottleneck of the taboo attribute. It was also the bottleneck for the primordial destruction / to reach perfection. Night Sorrow's primordial destruction / was already very powerful. Apart from the Heaven Attraction chant, which consumed a lot of soul power, it was his strongest combat skill. However, he pursued perfection and hadn't reached it yet. There was a fundamental difference between the primordial destruction / and the Heaven Attraction chant. The Heaven Attraction chant was slow to activate and consumed a lot of soul power. It was a big move that was ready to be used. On the other hand, the primordial destruction / was a combat skill that could be used at any time and could be used continuously. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow had been pursuing perfection. A combat skill that could be used continuously was the support for a long battle. After 2 months, Mo Yuqing felt that things were stable. She wanted to move on to the next step, which was to send out spies to scout the realms next to the 100 races of the celestial realm. Since she couldn't take down the 9 domains world, then Mo Yuqing also wanted to develop. She planned to first find a domain to use as a base for development. This way, the Demon Wing clan would also have a foundation in the celestial realm. There was also a domain next to Heaven Wasteland domain, but there was only one. At present, the Demon Wing clan was developing, and the other was close to Heaven Wasteland domain. These two domains couldn't enter the celestial realm. If they occupied the domain next to the celestial realm, then the Demon Wing clan would have no problem developing or waging war. After sending out the spies, Mo Yuqing once again looked at the information in her hands, her eyes full of annoyance. It was all information about Night Sorrow, which was collected some time ago. She also had the information that Night Sorrow had entered the intermediate Emperor Tribulation level. This was the reason why she was so annoyed. She had worked very hard to cultivate, but the result was that she was 2 levels behind Night Sorrow. The City Lord of Heaven Wasteland domain, Tran Hung, had returned to Heaven Wasteland City. Some things had been investigated clearly. He couldn't get close to the World Tree, and had to proceed according to the original plan. After listening to Night Sorrow's words, Tran Hung knew that there was only one person chosen by the Ice Phoenix race. He was also helpless. City Lord, Mo Tianji's intelligence is also not bad. If we don't have any objections, I can bring her along when the time comes, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 22:12. Requests. If we succeed in obtaining the World Tree, she hopes, or rather, she and I both hope that the World Tree can be placed in Starmoon City, so that both the 9-domain world and the Celestial Realm can benefit, Night Sorrow said. That's reasonable. In addition, only those who can approach the World Tree and recognize it will have an effect. Other people's requests are useless. Among the 3 possible people, you and her are more likely than Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei is also from the 9-domain world. Besides, if the World Tree is placed in Starmoon City, it will still be in the Celestial Realm. It won't affect the future of the Celestial Realm. Tran Hung explained his attitude and the stakes. In other words, no matter who controls the World Tree, it would be useless even if others wanted to interfere. Tran Hung asked about Night Sorrow's cultivation situation. He was not stingy with his guidance. He hoped that Night Sorrow would rise as soon as possible. Night Sorrow explained the current situation. The cultivation of the realm can only be done slowly. As for the bottleneck of the peerless attribute, it requires an opportunity or a flash of inspiration. Others can't help you, but you're good. In such a short time, you've cultivated the taboo attribute to the peak of the high level. One more step and you'll be a top-level taboo attribute. I'm looking forward to it. Tran Hung nodded to Night Sorrow. Tran Hung also specialized in the taboo attribute. But after countless years, the destruction and peerless attributes were complete. The space attribute could not be raised, so the taboo attribute's level was relatively low. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Tran Hung went to Yawu Mountain. He had some things to discuss with King Yawu. Night Sorrow knew that there was no point in going into seclusion. What he lacked was actual combat and opportunities. He felt that going to the ancient world might be an opportunity. 2 months later, after evading several pursuits of the members of the Fiend God Castle of the Celestial Realm, Dark Feather Qing led people into the Tianjiang domain, which was the domain once ruled by the Yuanji family. Later, Ma Tiantu of the Demon Wing clan had joined forces with Yuanji, but was eradicated by the Ethereal Imperial Court. This was recorded in the Demon Wing clan, so some of Mo Yuqing's plans went smoothly. He occupied the Sky General domain, destroyed the original transmission array, and built a new transmission array. Most J New B Chapter Supra KW1, end of the new teleportation array, was in an extremely hidden place in the Celestial Realm, and the other end was a teleportation array controlled by the Demon Wing clan in the Heavenfall domain. As soon as the teleportation portal was destroyed, the Ethereal Dynasty knew about it. However, the teleportation portal became a one-way portal. The Demon-Winged clan could enter and leave, but the people of the Celestial Realm could not. The situation was the same as the last time when Ma Tiantu and Yuanji joined forces. Unless they dug out the location of the Demon Wing clan's teleportation portal in the Celestial Realm, it was undoubtedly like looking for a needle in a haystack. It was extremely difficult. Night Sorrow Lin Piao Miao, Yang Lei and Aoi arrived at the ethereal imperial court. After listening to the report, Knight Sorrow shook his head helplessly. It doesn't matter. Later I'll ask Tran Hung how to enter the foreign domain. Or if Tran Hung has a way. Even if we can enter, it will be very troublesome. This time, the Demon Wing clan is very cautious or even good at scheming. There are doppelgangers of our people who reported the situation. The teleportation portal was destroyed by the Demon Wing clan, but we only saw a member of the Demon Wing clan once. They are also developing in the dark in the Heavenfall domain. Even if we enter, we may not be able to catch them, Lin Piaomiao said. This is my fault. I didn't guard it well enough. Luo Yuandao stood up and apologized. He was responsible for most of the matters in the Heavenfall domain. This is not your fault. They have been scheming. They can find any loophole they want. Pay attention to the defense of other areas. Don't let them sneak attack you. In addition, investigate the other domains near our ethereal dynasty, and give me a copy of the distribution map. Knight Sorrow shook his head. He knew that no one was to blame for this. When the Demon Wing clan was sincere in scheming, some places could not be guarded. Luo Yuandao and Elder Nalen nodded. They were waiting to be scolded, but Knight Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao did not say anything harsh. After giving some instructions, Knight Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao left the city lord's mansion. After sending Yang Lei and Aoi to the teleportation portal back to the 9-domain world, the two of them communicated as they teleported to Tianhuang City. Knight Sorrow, this is really unavoidable. Not all domains can be as impregnable as the 9-domain world. Our cultivators are too weak compared to their elite team, Lin Piaomiao said. I understand. Now let's see how to solve this matter. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew how much effort he had put into the defense of the 9-domain world in Xingyue City. When they arrived at Tianhuang City, Knight Sorrow went to Tran Hung's 9 Dragons Cauldron. When Knight Sorrow arrived, Tran Hung appeared. The two of them entered a small space in the 9 Dragons Cauldron. Knight Sorrow and Tran Hung had absolute trust in each other. Knight Sorrow could control the Tianhuang Pagoda, and he had no qualms about letting others in because he trusted him. Knight Sorrow told Tran Hung about the situation in the Tianjiang domain, and asked Tran Hung if there was any way to solve it. Yes, some world origins will control the spatial barrier to exclude cultivators above the king level from entering, but it's not absolute. It's not difficult to break through the world's barrier when one's spirit and mind are integrated into heaven and earth. The difficult part is to find the location in the spatial turbulence. The Tianjiang domain and celestial realm use king-grade teleportation stones, so the distance shouldn't be too far. For this matter, let the Misty Empire's men in the Tianjiang domain investigate them. If there are any clues, spend some effort to deal with them. Mo Zhantian should know about this too. Tran Hung said. So that's the case. That means the world's barrier can't stop cultivators above the Divine Soul Unity realm from entering. The 9-domain world has to take note of this too. Knight Sorrow was shocked. Don't worry, I'm talking about ownerless, low-level spatial worlds. The 9-domain world has you as the realm lord, but cultivators above the Divine Soul Unity realm won't be able to enter. Tran Hung reassured Knight Sorrow. After hearing Tran Hung's words, Knight Sorrow heaved a sigh of relief. If they couldn't prevent cultivators above the Divine Soul Unity realm from entering, then the defense of Star Moon City and 9-domain city would be ineffective. Also, you're now the virtuous emperor. If you have the virtuous fire to protect you, the barrier of the spatial world should be ineffective against you. You can try it if you have the chance. Tran Hung said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow really didn't know about this. Now that he understood the main points, he felt that the Tianjiang domain wasn't a big problem. At the very least, the devil-winged race wouldn't be able to occupy it. Tran Hung told Knight Sorrow that he would go to the Tianjiang domain later to set up a secret teleportation array. He would activate it whenever he needed it. After Mo Yuqing led the troops into the Tianjiang domain, she reported the situation to Mo Zhantian. Mo Zhantian rejected her action because it was untenable. There were at least 2 people in the celestial realm who could break through the world's barrier. Tran Hung and King Yawu could do it. Therefore, they still had to hide their tracks. This was also the main reason why the troops of the Ethereal Empire couldn't find them in the Tianjiang domain. Chapter 22:13. Thinking of the 9 domains world. Dark Feather felt a strong sense of powerlessness. Because the defense of the 9 domains world was too tight, whether it was from the inside to the outside, or the control of the people coming in and out, it had reached the point where she could not do anything. Without a plan for the next step, Dark Feather could only stand firm in the dark. In addition, he also made a plan to leave the Heavenly General Domain if there was any danger. Use the Heavenly General Domain as a cover to attract the attention of the people of the Heavenly Realm, and then go elsewhere to develop. After thinking about the problem, Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao's original body stayed in the Heaven Wasteland City, while the 2 clones returned to the Night Moon Villa of the Ethereal Imperial Court, because this was the fastest way to get the news. When the 2 returned, in the Night Moon Villa, the 2 brothers Yi Xiaoluo and Yi Xiaoke were drinking. Seeing that Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao had returned, the 2 hurriedly got up to greet them. "You 2 brothers are very comfortable." After Night Sorrow sat down, he waved his hand to let the 2 sit down, and then asked about Yi Xiaoke's cultivation. "Lord Father, you're wrong too. I'm already so old and I haven't seen you refine any weapons or armor for me. You've refined them for others and slapped me in the face." Yi Xiaoluo said, "Bastard boy, no one has said that your father is wrong in front of your father." Lin Piaomiao reached out and knocked Yi Xiaoluo on the head. "Haha. Father and your 2 concubines went to the Lu family villa as guests and saw Lu Yu. Since it's good karma, I gave her a gift. Men should be more tolerant. It's not a bad thing to be joked about and slapped in the face." Night Sorrow explained to his son with a smile. "Xiaoluo knows, I just wanted to find a topic to chat with father and concubines." Yi Xiaoluo said with a smile, "You child." Lin Piaomiao shook her head. Yi Xiaoluo was like this, it was also his character. Then Yi Xiaoluo said that he originally wanted to join the Heaven Wasteland Army, but after hearing Lu Yu's words, he dismissed the idea. "Xiaoke, when you are free, go out with your 4th brother for a walk. Don't just stay in the Misty Dynasty. You are the 4th brother and you are doing very well." Lin Piaomiao looked at her son and said, "No, I still have to wait. With my cultivation level, I'll be easily bullied if I go out. It's a small matter if I get bullied, but it's a big matter if I embarrass you and father," said Yi Xiaoke. "If you don't tell us, who will know that you are our son? It's not us who will be embarrassed. If you're afraid of being embarrassed, then work harder." Lin Piaomiao glared at Yi Xiaoke. Yi Xiaoke wanted to say something, but he swallowed it back. Lin Piaomiao was very strict with him. "Little Luo, it's good to have some precautions when making friends. But once you become friends, there's no need to deliberately hide it. If you have friends, you can bring them home. This isn't showing off, it's sincerity. Your mother, your aunts, and I all support you. Besides, father can tell at a glance what kind of person a friend is," Night Sorrow said. "Little Luo understands. But if little Luo feels that it's necessary, then we'll talk about it. For now, there's no need." Yi Xiaoluo naturally understood what Night Sorrow meant. He could help him check. Just as the family was chatting, Tran Hung came. "We're chatting as a family. I'll set up a teleportation array here. Then, I'll set up another one at the Tianjiang domain. After the connection is completed, we'll activate it whenever we need it. Thank you for your hard work, City Lord." Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Tran Hung. Then he began to set up the teleportation array. Naturally, he couldn't let Tran Hung do it personally. After the teleportation array was set up, Tran Hung inserted a top-notch rank 8 teleportation crystal and left. She was going to proceed with the next step. Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao stayed in the Night Moon Villa. Yi Xiaoluo brought his brother Yi Xiaoke out. He received a notice from the team that they were going on an adventure. Night Sorrow wouldn't stop such a thing. Half a month later, Tran Hung came back through the teleportation array. It's set up in a large canyon. There's no problem with its safety. It can be activated at any time. I'll go back now. When the spiritual woman from the Ice Phoenix race comes out of seclusion, I'll inform you. We'll head to the ancient world. After sending off Tran Hung, Night Sorrow prepared for the upcoming expedition to the ancient world. On this day, Night Sorrow, who was meditating with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. His body flashed and stood outside the teleportation array. Lin Piaomiao also arrived because they saw Yi Xiaoke, whose robes were covered in blood. "Father, mother, hurry up and save them. Save my fourth brother, and the others. They're in danger now." Yi Xiaoke didn't care about his injuries and anxiously shouted to Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao. "Let's go." Night Sorrow wrapped Lin Piaomiao and Yi Xiaoke with energy and entered the teleportation array. Yi Xiaoke led the way and teleported. He also told Night Sorrow about the situation. Yi Xiaoluo received a notice from the team. Their group followed the other training teams into an alternate dimension. Not long after they entered, they were surrounded and attacked by the foreign races. The other teams all died. Because Jingyu, Langli, Luyu, and Yi Xiaoluo's combat strength were relatively good, they didn't die on the spot. They tried their best to stop them, and only then did Yi Xiaoke come back to report. +2 go fast +2 inch bullsh, *T alternate dimension. I don't know which foreign world this is. Lin Piaomiao cursed. Because there were almost no strong experts in the alternate dimension, it was impossible to injure Yi Xiaoluo and the others. It was definitely the power of the foreign world. Night Sorrow increased the energy to activate the teleportation array's teleportation crystal. 2 hours later, they arrived at the entrance of the foreign world. He let Lin Piaomiao guard the entrance and take care of Yi Xiaoke. He entered the spatial tunnel and flew in the direction Yi Xiaoke said. At this moment, in a mountainous area of the foreign world, Yi Xiaoluo, Jingyu, Langli Luyu, and a cultivator called Kiki were surrounded and attacked. They were all seriously injured. "Brothers and sisters, this time it's my fault. I brought everyone to a dangerous place. If there's a chance, retreat. Let's be brothers again in the next life." Jingyu didn't care about his own safety as he fought with the foreign races who had scales on their faces. Haha. Jingyu, there's no meaning in saying that. Since we're brothers, let's fight together. If we die in battle, we'll walk side by side on the road to hell. Yi Xiaoluo laughed loudly. There was a big hole in his chest that kept bleeding, but his aura wasn't weak at all. He didn't have any regrets because he had sent his younger brother away and could answer to his parents and aunt. "Xiaoluo, you're heroic. If you can survive this time, I won't hurt you anymore," Luyu said. Yi Xiaoluo's most serious injury was paid for her. "Xiaoluo, you have the greatest potential. If there's a chance, take Luyu with you." Langli also shouted. He and Yi Xiaoluo were sworn brothers and their relationship was the deepest. "All of you will die." At this moment, a man in battle armor appeared. Chapter 22:14. Yi Xiaoluo knew that after his brother escaped, he would definitely inform his father and aunt to come. As long as one of them came, the crisis would be resolved. At this moment, Night Sorrow's flying speed in the alternate dimension had increased to the maximum. It was almost like teleportation. He knew that if he could buy more time, Yi Xiaoluo would be in less danger. If he was slow, Yi Xiaoluo would die easily. Night Sorrow also cursed. Yi Xiaoluo had not shattered his soul crystal yet. He could only search according to the general direction, and deduced from the battlefield and traces. The distance was too far, and they were in an alternate dimension. He could not shatter the soul crystal on Yi Xiaoluo's body. After flying for a while, Night Sorrow sensed the aura of his soul crystal, and immediately increased his speed. Jingyu and the others were in a worse situation. The 5 of them were suppressed and retreated together. Yi Xiaoluo's chest was pierced, and his left arm was twisted strangely. Half of Jingyu's neck was broken, and Langli was standing there with one leg. "What are you guys doing? I didn't expect our Scarlet Sky Realm to be so close to the Supreme World. You guys are the first battle of our Scarlet Sky Realm." The man in armor appeared in front of all the foreign race warriors in a flash. "Damn, I can't see his cultivation. I can't help dying in the hands of the Emperor," Jingyu said. He was helpless and had to accept his fate, because the difference was too big. "You bully us because our cultivation is low. My father or Aunt Lin can crush a piece of trash like you." Yi Xiaoluo wiped his mouth and said, "Brother, the Emperor is not easy to deal with," Langli said with a bitter smile. The Emperor was too strong in front of them. I believe Xiaoluo's words. Lu Yu said. She knew Yi Xiaoluo's background. Not only was Night Sorrow strong, Lin Piaomiao's strength was also known by everyone in the celestial realm. Don't talk about my father and aunt. Even a random uncle would be able to peel off his skin. Damn it, bah. Yi Xiaoluo spat out a mouthful of bloody saliva. Shameless boasting. Die first. The man in armor waved his battle blade and charged towards Yi Xiaoluo. Wang. The world's energy vibrated as a blood-red spear tore through the sky, arriving before Yi Xiaoluo. The end of the spear trembled constantly, causing the space's energy to vibrate and resonate with it. The armored man hurriedly retreated. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't boast shamelessly. You don't have the right to kill him. Night Sorrow arrived. His white robes fluttered as he casually took a step forward and arrived in front of Yi Xiaoluo and the others. Sir. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, Jingyu, Langli and Kiki, who had seen Night Sorrow before, all nodded in greeting. Sorry, Xiaoluo has embarrassed you. Yi Xiaoluo said in a low voice. What's so embarrassing about it? Night Sorrow nodded at Yi Xiaoluo. It doesn't matter if you lose. As long as you have the courage, it's fine. We, the children of the Yi clan, should know shame and be brave. Yi Xiaoluo bowed. His heart was very warm. His father had arrived at the crucial moment. He didn't say any harsh words and only supported him. Who are you? The Scarlet Night Kingdom's soldier commander looked at Night Sorrow with vigilance. He couldn't see through Night Sorrow's strength. Celestial Realm Night Sorrow. Let's not talk about your encirclement. You even bully the weak. Do you think our celestial realm doesn't have people? Kill. Night Sorrow's right hand grabbed the blood-chilling evil punishing spear. His body created an afterimage as he directly struck the Scarlet Night Kingdom's leader's head. Soon after, the Scarlet Night Kingdom's leader's body disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. Beginning Great Annihilation / This was the first time Night Sorrow used Beginning Great Annihilation / in battle. Under the suppression of the Forbidden Dao Domain, the Scarlet Night Kingdom's high-class emperor couldn't fight back. Spearlight danced and afterimages crisscrossed. In just a moment, the foreign race soldiers surrounding Yi Xiaoluo were all killed. You guys go back first and recover your wounds before fighting. There will be people waiting for you at the spatial tunnel. Night Sorrow's body flashed and left after speaking. He had to investigate the Scarlet Night Kingdom situation and see if it was the same as the last apocalypse. Also, Night Sorrow was worried that the Scarlet Night Kingdom was an ancient world because there were traces of endless vicissitudes in its aura. Seeing Night Sorrow leave, Yi Xiaoluo and the others flew towards the spatial tunnel. Although they were heavily injured, it didn't affect their flight. You initial F hair, the celestial realm only has one Night Sorrow. That is Sir Human Emperor? Yi Xiaoluo. Langli looked at Yi Xiaoluo. That's my father. I didn't intentionally hide it from you guys. When I said I knew the Human Emperor and often saw him, you guys didn't believe me. If I said more, it would just be showing off. Yi Xiaoluo explained. We can understand this. The relationship between us has nothing to do with family background. However, it's true that your family background is terrifying, Jingyu said with a smile. Currently, the most powerful person in the heaven realm was none other than Yi Shang. In addition, Night Sorrow didn't just have a high reputation. His strength was also recognized. The group of people exited the spatial tunnel and saw Lin Piaomiao and Yi Xiaoke. Xiaoluo greets aunt. Yi Xiaoluo bowed to Lin Piaomiao. The others bowed as well. They all knew about the Grand Elder of the Council of Elders. Your injuries are very serious. Xiaoluo, bring your little brother and your friends to Yeyue Mountain Villa to treat their injuries first. Aunt still has things to do. Take this healing medicine and distribute it to everyone. Lin Piaomiao took out the healing medicine and handed it to Yi Xiaoluo. Aunt is so considerate. Father didn't even give me any healing medicine. Although Yi Xiaoluo was heavily injured, he didn't stop talking. Look at you now. You still dare to talk about your father. If your father died a little later, would you still be alive? Lin Piaomiao glared at Yi Xiaoluo. Yi Xiaoluo brought Yi Xiaoke and a few friends back to Night Moon Manor to recover. After their injuries were more or less under control, the group of people met in the main hall of the Night Moon Manor. Little six, fourth brother let you down this time. Yi Xiaoluo looked at Yi Xiaoke and said, Fourth brother, you're not reliable. You always boast that you're the second emperor of the Yi clan. You said that I would live a good life if I went out with you. In the end, I almost got killed and lost half my life. Yi Xiaoke looked at Yi Xiaoluo and said, Accident, it was completely an accident. This is the first time something like this happened. You happened to see it. Don't tell eldest sister and third sister. They will scold me to death. Yi Xiaoluo was embarrassed by Yi Xiaoke's words. You also have people you're afraid of? Lu Yu said with a smile. My eldest sister and third sister are much scarier than my father, mother, and aunt. Xiaoluo, are you? Yi Xiaoluo looked at Yi Xiaoke and asked. This is the truth. Fourth brother, brothers and sisters, Xiaoke is here to thank everyone for risking their lives to protect me. Xiaoke ran away first not because he was afraid of death, but because he felt that it was useless to stay. He might as well hurry back and call for help. Xiaoke will remember this kindness. Yi Xiaoke stood up and bowed to Yi Xiaoluo, Jingyu, and the others. Chapter 22:15. Xiaoluo, what do you think now? Lu Yu looked at Yi Xiaoluo and asked. What else can I think about? We're going out to train. We can deal with small fish and shrimps, but we can't eat big crabs. We should improve our cultivation first. Brother Jingyu, don't join the Heaven Wasteland army. It's more important to improve your strength first, Yi Xiaoluo said. I'll listen to you and Lu Yu this time. If you don't want to join, then I won't. I'm not strong enough, Jingyu lamented. Langley, what are you thinking about? Do you still want to go to the Heaven Wasteland City and join the Heaven Wasteland Army? Lu Yu looked at Langley and asked. No, after I saw the human emperor's spear skills, I felt that my spear skills were like a child's waving a stick around, Langley lamented. There's no comparison. It's the truth. We're much older than His Majesty, but our experience and strength can't compare. His Majesty has been through hundreds of battles, and his strength is the result of killing. The things we've experienced are like playing house in front of him, Lu Yu said. After experiencing this, the 6 people present were deeply moved. Because they had almost been completely wiped out. They stayed in the Night Moon Mountain Villa to heal their wounds and think about their next path. Night Sorrow flew in the Scarlet Night Realm to investigate. He caught a cultivator from the Scarlet Night Realm and used the Soul Illusion Realm to influence his soul. He found some information. Just as he estimated, this alternate space was an ancient world with a history of thousands of reincarnations. Normally, after 1,000 reincarnations, a supreme world would fall to a sub-supreme world. After another 1,000 reincarnations, it would shatter. After shattering, it would form some small worlds. These small worlds didn't have much spiritual energy and weren't suitable for cultivation. However, these small worlds would be close to other realms and worlds. By plundering, the cultivators of this kind of small world could also rise up. This kind of small world had existed for a long time, and it did not have the crisis of a great calamity like other worlds. Over time, it became the ancient world that the people of the Heaven Realm spoke of. After probing the spirit sea memories of a few cultivators, Night Sorrow understood quite a bit about the Scarlet Night Realm. The Scarlet Night Realm was very strong. The first commander of the Scarlet Night Realm was a Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivator of the Tribulation of the 9 Emperors, while the second commander was a Tribulation of the 8 Emperors. This was Night Sorrow's evaluation of the Scarlet Night world. After discovering this information, Night Sorrow informed Tran Hung, and his doppelganger continued to investigate. Tran Hung called King Yawu and the Grand Elder back. Then they held a meeting of the Council of Elders. There are tribulation of the 9 emperors in the Crimson Night Realm. Other than the City Lord and King Yawu, the rest of the people in the Celestial Realm can't handle it. Long Yixing said. The news about Night Sorrow had brought a lot of pressure to everyone. The opponent is very strong. If it weren't for the Demon-Winged clan, we wouldn't be afraid of anything. Now no matter who we fight, the Demon-Winged clan will bite us if our strength is damaged, Tran Hung said. Is there any possibility of negotiation? The Grand Elder looked at Tran Hung and King Yawu and asked. It's almost impossible. The situation in the ancient world isn't very good. They have a long history, but the lack of resources is a drawback. When they discover new realms and new worlds, they will definitely take action. They will ruthlessly plunder and kill any life they see. The crystal cores of cultivators are all resources that they want, Tran Hung said. He knew a little about the ancient world and knew how it worked. That's really a big problem. The Golden Dragon King shook his head. What should we do? The problem is, what should we do now? How should we deal with it? Lin Yuanjun, the leader of the White Tiger clan, asked. Negotiation is very difficult. The opponent won't let go of the opportunity to plunder resources, but I will still try. At the very least, I have to let them know our attitude. Peaceful coexistence is the best. If we can't just fight, they have the mentality to fight for resources. We also have the determination to fight to the end in the celestial realm, Tran Hung said. First C%, alright, the city lord will go negotiate. We will prepare for war. When I come back, who will guard the Sea of Reincarnation? The Grand Elder looked at the leaders of the mythological beast clan and asked. In the celestial realm, other than the 3 leaders, Lu Qi and the other leaders of the mythological beast clans were the strongest. Now that Lu Qi wasn't here, the Grand Elder hoped that someone would stand up. Then I will go. Long Yixing, one of the Azure Dragons, said. This is my communication crystal. If there is a battle, notify me immediately. King Yawu gave his communication crystal to Long Yixing. Lord, it's been too long since Yawu City teleported here. Long Yixing said. King Yawu shook his head and then told his plan. He planned to guard Tianhuang City, and let Sure you watch over Yawu City. If that's the case, I will guard the entrance. The Grand Elder said. After the arrangements were made, everyone started to move. In the Nine Realms world, Night Sorrow's Nine Realms body told Mo Tianji about the appearance of the Crimson Sky Realm. There will be many twists and turns in the last era of the sovereign world. It's all a catastrophe. One mistake and the world will be turned upside down. However, the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm are quite strong now. There shouldn't be too much risk, Mo Tianji said. There's nothing we can do about it. The opponent is very strong. We don't dare to consume too much during this period. Also, we have to hurry up with the World Tree. Night Sorrow was a little conflicted now. Everything had come together. Let's see the result of the negotiation first. If they really want to fight, I can go with you and wipe out their top forces first. Mo Tianji said. Let's see how it goes. Night Sorrow said. While Night Sorrow's body was investigating the situation, he also obtained a map from the Crimson Sky Realm's cultivators. The Crimson Sky Realm was quite strong, but it wasn't too big. It was just a medium-sized world. When Night Sorrow returned to the entrance of the space passage, he saw Tran Hung, the Golden Dragon King, and Lu Qi were all there. Night Sorrow watched this place. I'll go in and take a look, Tran Hung said. Night Sorrow took out the map, then engraved a copy and handed it to Tran Hung. Everyone get ready for battle. If there's really going to be a battle, inform King Yawu to come here. We'll end it quickly and kill their 2 high-level Tribulation Emperor cultivators. The rest can be cleaned up later. Tran Hung left after saying that. Sister Xianair, help me send someone to inform the First Army and the God-slaying team to come here. Night Sorrow was ready for battle. Lin Piamiao sent Lin Qixing to do this. She knew that Night Sorrow was preparing for battle. Is the Nine Realms world stable? The Grand Elder asked. Chapter 22:16. Night Sorrow took out spirit stones and began to set up the formation. No matter how the negotiations went, whether they would fight or not, the defensive formation had to be set up. Night Sorrow had this awareness. Seeing Night Sorrow set up the formation, King Yawu nodded. Night Sorrow was already very thoughtful. At this time, in front of the Scarlet Sky Realm's Scarlet Sky City, Tran Hung and the higher-ups of the Scarlet Sky Realm were confronting each other. You are the representative of the Celestial Realm. I am the Realm Lord of the Scarlet Sky Realm, Yu Qing. I will tell you clearly that the Scarlet Sky Realm will not compromise with any forces. If there is a war, we will fight, Yu Qing said. Yu Qing looked like a young man, but his actual age was 9 eras. He did not have much lifespan left. If he wanted to obtain opportunities, he naturally had to fight. His position as Realm Lord was different from that of Night Sorrow. He obtained it with power and strength. He used his strength to suppress other cultivators and obtain the right to rule. If you think the Scarlet Sky Realm can do it, then let's fight. This is your fate. Tran Hung snorted coldly. Then his body became blurry and he left. Realm Lord, why didn't you stop him? A middle-aged man asked. He is a Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivator, and is not in our attack range. If he wants to leave, it will be difficult for us to stop him. Yu Qing shook his head. Tran Hung was not in his attack range. It would be useless even if he attacked. The middle-aged man nodded. He was the Vice Realm Lord of the Scarlet Sky Realm, Tang Bing. He was second only to Yu Qing in the Scarlet Sky Realm. He also needed resources to improve himself. The battle of the Scarlet Sky Realm was in everyone's interest. Tran Hung left. This time he did not plan to attack. He was here to negotiate. The next time they met he would kill him openly. It was very troublesome to set up a formation. The first army of the Heaven Wasteland Army and the God-slaying team were all here. Night Sorrow's formation was still being set up. Tran Hung returned, but Night Sorrow's formation was not finished. The group of people followed Night Sorrow and accompanied Night Sorrow to set up the formation. At the same time, they studied the next battle tactics. City Lord, how about we deal with them directly? Tell King Yawu to come over and kill their higher-ups. As for the people below, we can slowly eliminate them. This way, the City Lord and King Yawu won't be delayed when they return to Tianhuang City. This way, the Demon Wing clan won't dare to act recklessly, the Golden Dragon King said. The plan is feasible. As of now, this news has yet to be exposed. The Demon Wings race doesn't know about it yet. Before the Demon Wings race finds out and reacts, we have to settle the overall situation. Chen Huang said. After nearly half a month, Night Sorrow finished setting up the array formation. He used Monarch Spirit Stones in the key positions. After setting up the array formation, he handed it over to the Great Elder and Lu Qi. Night Sorrow, you can't be here now. We will take care of things here. You still have an important mission. Take that person, Imperial Concubine of the Ice Phoenix race, and the God-slaying team to that place. The success or failure of that place has far-reaching significance. I am worried that the appearance of the Scarlet Night world will cause other ancient worlds to surface. Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow who had finished setting up the formation. Okay, but what about the specific location? Night Sorrow looked at Tran Hung. Tran Hung handed Night Sorrow a map. I can only rely on you. One more thing. The person you want to approach the world tree must be the original body. Also, I feel that this is an opportunity for you to break through and improve. You can do whatever you want. Night Sorrow was shocked. Tran Hung was the City Lord of Heaven Wasteland City. She would not speak without thinking. After putting away the map, Night Sorrow nodded at Lin Piao. Be careful. Most TT New Chapter G Section W above you too. Think more about everything. Don't take risks. Lin Piao reminded Night Sorrow. She was also worried. Night Sorrow brought the God-slaying team to Night Moon Villa. His original body had also rushed over from Heaven Wasteland City. Mo Tianji, who had received Night Sorrow's 9 Realms doppelganger's message, had also arrived. Mo Tianji's face was covered with a white veil. Take a rest. We will set off when Imperial Concubine arrives. Night Sorrow invited Mo Tianji to Night Moon Villa's waterside pavilion for tea and rest. He began to study the map of the ancient world where the world tree was. This ancient world was named World Tree by Tran Hung. It was a desolate world. Although there was no world origin, there was plenty of world origin energy because of the world tree. Tran Hung had studied the world tree for a period of time, but couldn't find a way to approach it. In addition, when Tran Hung first discovered the world tree, it was still very quiet. There were no cultivators. But later on, there were sporadic cultivators. This was also the reason why Tran Hung hurriedly told Night Sorrow to give up the war with Scarlet Night Realm and rush to the World Tree. He was afraid that there would be problems. The World Tree could protect the Celestial Realm. Even after a Supreme Realm, it wouldn't be destroyed. This had a profound meaning. While Night Sorrow was studying the map, Wu Lingfei arrived at Night Moon Villa. Wu Lingfei hadn't been in the celestial realm these years. She had been staying in the ancestral land of the Ice Phoenix race. Using the accumulation of the Ice Phoenix race's immortal shell and time acceleration, she had rapidly increased her cultivation. She was already at the Heavenly Tao 7 Emperor Tribulation. Imperial Concubine. Seeing Wu Lingfei, Night Sorrow smiled from the bottom of his heart. Wu Lingfei was his closest relative before he found his family. She still was. Night Sorrow, I'm here. Wu Lingfei sat down next to Night Sorrow. Let me introduce you. This is the person I respect the most, and she's also my relative, Wu Lingfei. She's the Imperial Concubine of the Ice Phoenix race. I call her Aunt Fei. Aunt Fei, this is my good friend, the Heavenly Concubine of the 9 Regions world. Yishang introduced Wu Lingfei and Mo Tianji. Hello, I am Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei nodded at Mo Tianji. The appearance is born from the heart. The kindness in the eyes can penetrate the bottom of one's heart. Night Sorrow's Imperial Concubine is indeed not simple. I am Heavenly Concubine. Mo Tianji held the sword in her left hand and cupped her right hand. You are too polite. Night Sorrow doesn't have many friends and even fewer good friends. It can be seen that he recognizes you very much. Wu Lingfei smiled. Don't be so polite. Imperial Concubine is from the 9 Realms world. And so is Heavenly Concubine. We are all on the same side. This time, we will fight side by side in the world of trees. Night Sorrow said after pouring tea for the two. Then Night Sorrow told Wu Lingfei about the world tree and its importance. So important? Then if we get it, will we give it to the celestial realm? Or the 9 Realms world? Wu Lingfei directly said her thoughts. Are all people from the 9 Realms world like this? Mo Tianji smiled. We will talk about it after we get it. We have to hurry and get it done before the world of trees is discovered. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 22:17. The location of the realm of trees was something that Night Sorrow did not expect. It was near the evil Punisher grounds in the Misty Dynasty, which was where the ghost ancestor's soul once resided, and where Xiaogu was born. Night Sorrow led the group to the entrance of the realm of trees. There was a ceiling formation at the entrance, which was set up by Tran Hung. Tran Hung did not tell Night Sorrow about the ceiling formation. He knew that it was difficult for others, but not for Night Sorrow. It's here. I've been here before, Night Sorrow said as he began to break the ceiling formation. After a while, the ceiling formation stopped working. Night Sorrow let everyone in and started the ceiling formation again. He did not want other foreign races to enter the celestial realm. The celestial realm was already troublesome enough. If more trouble came, they would be in a terrible fix. The vicissitudes of time are very strong. Even the aura of the Heaven Wasteland domain cannot compare. Mo Tianji said after entering the realm of trees. Although the vicissitudes of time are very strong, the spiritual qi here is very strong, and there is a different kind of vitality, Wu Lingfei added. Night Sorrow nodded. This is the ancient aura of the world tree. Tianyu Yimei, you two will be the scouts. Tianyu and Yimei cupped their hands at Night Sorrow and set off. Both of them were good at speed and were the best candidates for scouts. Night Sorrow's original body commanded the group, and his doppelganger could also be the scout. However, as the leader, it was not suitable for him to go. It would make the god-slaying team look weak, which would be a blow to their morale. After advancing for half a day, Mo Tianji felt that something was wrong. This aura is not right. There is a bloody aura. It's different from when we first entered. It seems that I'm not the only one who feels this way, Wu Lingfei said. Yes, I feel it too. Something might have changed. Let's move quickly. There is still half a day's journey. Night Sorrow rubbed his nose. After advancing for another hour, Tianyu returned. Leader, there are traces of foreign races ahead. Tianyu reported. In private, Tianyu called Night Sorrow 13th brother. But when the group went out to battle, he called him leader. At this time Yi Mei, who was scouting in another direction, also returned. Too terrifying. Luckily, my illusion technique was effective and I wasn't discovered. There's an army of foreign races in front of us. They are too terrifying. Yi Mei's face was slightly pale. With Yi Mei's explanation, everyone knew what was going on. Yi Mei had found out that the alien races were very ugly. They all had big mouths that reached their ears, three-edged tails with scales, and spikes on their backs. This is the demon scorpion race recorded in the history books. They are incomparably brutal, and their innate talent is devouring. We absorb the energy of heaven and earth for our own use, but they rely on devouring. They eat ores, spirit stones, other cultivators, and absorb the energy from their food to cultivate. Therefore, brutality is in their nature. If you are defeated or killed by them, not even your bones will remain. Mo Tianji was very knowledgeable. She was able to confirm the other party's identity through Yi Mei and Tianyu's description. That means this is going to be a battle to the death. Team, stay here. Night Sorrow ordered the group. Tightening the samsara halberd on his back, Night Sorrow nodded to Mo Tianji and Wu Lingfei. I'll go take a look. The group is in a safe zone. I'll go with you, Mo Tianji said. Yes, it's more suitable for Tianji to go with you. Wu Lingfei nodded. Okay. Long Jin, Lin Chuan, take care of your brothers. Night Sorrow said to Long Jin and Lin Chuan. Then he left with Mo Tianji. On the way, Mo Tianji told Yi Shang about the strengths and weaknesses of the demon scorpion race. The demon scorpion race had a powerful body, but their weakness was that their soul power was slightly weaker. The so-called slightly weaker referred to the fact that they were not good at soul attacks. However, there was a mark on their skulls that could block soul attacks. It looks like we're too slow. The ancient world's cultivators have found the world of trees. The secret of the world tree can't be hidden anymore. We have to hurry. Otherwise, it'll get harder and harder, Night Sorrow said. Mo Tianji nodded. She knew about Night Sorrow's leadership skills. She was impressed. She hadn't been in the Nine Zones world for long, but she'd heard a lot about Night Sorrow when she was drinking tea in the tea house and strolling on the streets. After a while, Night Sorrow and Mo Tianji found the demon scorpion race. Their soul power was strong. They avoided the demon scorpion race and checked the situation. The other two also saw the world tree from afar. However, they couldn't see it clearly. The world tree was too big. Because they had to hide from the demon scorpion race, Night Sorrow and Mo Tianji were far away. They could only see the tree crown. They couldn't see the trunk. Not good. Let's go. Mo Tianji pulled Night Sorrow and started to fly. Night Sorrow didn't understand, but he knew Mo Tianji had her reasons. He didn't resist and let Mo Tianji pull him along. I sense something. It's a cultivator from the tribulation of the 9 emperors. There's also a weaker one. They're chasing us. Mo Tianji's expression was serious. Can we kill them? Night Sorrow asked. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. How? There are 2 of them. One is a 9 Emperor Tribulation cultivator. It's not a problem to deal with me. The other one's aura is much stronger than yours. He should be a 7 Emperor Tribulation cultivator. How do you think we should kill them? Mo Tianji said. We can kill them. Why can't we? Night Sorrow thought for a while and came up with an idea. How do you think we should kill them? If I think we can, we'll fight. If not, we'll have to run first. Mo Tianji said. She didn't want to take Night Sorrow with her. She wasn't worried about herself. She was worried about Night Sorrow. When we meet later, we'll work together and kill the 7 Emperor Tribulation cultivator. Then you can deal with the strongest one. I'll watch the show. I guess I'll heal myself. Night Sorrow said. This is a race against time. Let's see if the 9 Emperor Tribulation cultivator kills you first, or if I kill the 7 Emperor Tribulation cultivator first. It's a challenge for me, but it's even more stressful for you. If you're not careful, you'll die. Mo Tianji looked at Night Sorrow and said. If we have to fight, we'll fight. If we have the chance, we'll kill them. The main thing is that we have to race against time. If we can kill their leader, we'll be able to change the situation and gain the upper hand, Yi Shan said. All right. If you want to go crazy, I'll go crazy with you. Let's see if we can do it. Mo Tianji's fighting spirit was ignited by Night Sorrow's attitude. Haha. We can definitely do it. If we run a little further, We'll hide and get ready. If they come, we'll kill them. Night Sorrow said. After running for a while, Night Sorrow cast a spatial crack in front of them. Without needing Night Sorrow to say anything, Mo Tianji brought Night Sorrow into the spatial turbulence. The two of them were going to set up an ambush. Chapter 22:18. When Night Sorrow tore open the spatial rift, Mo Tianji understood what Night Sorrow meant. He wanted her to hide in the turbulent flow of space and ambush her there. This was the best way to hide and ambush her. E*J*Ty all this time, you've always defeated those stronger than you. Not only are you strong, but you're also smart. Mo Tianji said. She understood that the losses she suffered at the hands of Night Sorrow in the past were not for nothing. Night Sorrow's fighting style was too wild. He dared to do what he thought. The chief of the demon scorpion race, Xie Kuang, and the great elder, Xie Li, sensed Mo Tianji's aura and chased after her. However, after a while, the aura disappeared. They followed the aura to where Yi Shang and Mo Tianji entered the spatial turbulence. That's enough, kill. Night Sorrow roared as his doppelganger emerged from his body. Then he used Space Crack in 2 soul-extinguishing slashes. While Night Sorrow was making his move, Mo Tianji's body flashed out of the spatial rift. Then, her precept domain pressed down on Li Xie. The plan was to kill Li Xie first. Night Sorrow's soul-extinguishing slash was also aimed at Li Xie. When Mo Tianji moved, Night Sorrow's original body and avatar cast their precept domains within Mo Tianji's precept domain. Then they used different combat skills. His original body's primordial obliteration slash, and his avatar's reincarnation true dragon art attacked Xie Li at the same time. Damn it! Xie Li growled. His Dao domain had been suppressed greatly. At the same time, an illusion appeared in his divine sea. Although he knew that it was an illusion, he immediately fell into it after struggling out of it. Night Sorrow's soul-extinguishing slash could not break through his spirit sea, but the illusions and illusions continued to attack his spirit sea. Mo Tianji's sword chi pierced through Li Xie's chest. Night Sorrow's samsara halberd was not as fast as Mo Tianji, so it was blocked by the saber in Li Xie's right hand. However, Night Sorrow's samsara halberd's destruction attribute and primordial destruction cut destroyed part of Li Xie's weapon and broke the tendons in his right arm. Don't worry about anything else. Keep killing. Night Sorrow shouted when he saw that Mo Tianji, who had killed Scorpion Li, was going to fight Scorpion Kuang. At the same time, his avatar flashed and used the space-time realm. Then, he used the true reincarnation dragon art to attack Scorpion Kuang. Mo Tianji's eyes were filled with shock because Night Sorrow was using himself to buy time for Mo Tianji to kill Xie Li. Anyone who stands in my way will die. Seeing that Scorpion Li had been injured, Scorpion Kuang became anxious and charged toward Night Sorrow. At this time, Night Sorrow's body flashed again and used the space-time realm again. When Scorpion Kuang's saber light swept past, he appeared again. The true reincarnation dragon art changed into the primordial destruction cut and stabbed toward Scorpion Kuang's chest. Night Sorrow's most powerful combat skill was the primordial destruction cut that had not been perfectly integrated. If the primordial destruction cut had been perfectly integrated, Night Sorrow would have studied the real true reincarnation dragon art. Now the true reincarnation dragon art was just a combat skill supported by reincarnation energy. In terms of profound, it was different from the primordial destruction cut. Scorpion Kuang's expression changed. He could feel that the primordial destruction cut could threaten him. Immediately, he changed his saber technique into a horizontal slash to block Night Sorrow's attack. Seeing Scorpion Kuang's horizontal slash, Night Sorrow's blood-kirin evil-slaying spear trembled. Energy burst out and blasted toward Scorpion Kuang. Normally, Night Sorrow would not fight Scorpion Kuang head-on at this time. He would definitely be at a disadvantage. However, in order to buy time for Mo Tianji and his original body, he had to fight even if he was injured. At this time, Scorpion Li's doppelganger had appeared. Night Sorrow's original body was carrying Scorpion Li's doppelganger, while Mo Tianji was attacking Scorpion Li's original body, which had been severely injured by the two of them. Scorpion Li's original body could not hold on any longer. He had been severely injured the moment Night Sorrow and Mo Tianji appeared. Scorpion Li's doppelganger did not want to fight Night Sorrow's original body. He wanted to take on Night Sorrow's doppelganger and let Scorpion Kwang support his original body. Although he was a tribulation of 7 emperors, and his life level had evolved and his soul was stable, who was Mo Tianji? She was a tribulation of 9 emperors, and had a taboo attribute. Scorpion Li's body had been damaged and half of his soul had been destroyed. He would die if he continued fighting. Since Scorpion Li's doppelganger was unwilling to fight Night Sorrow's original body, Night Sorrow's original body was under less pressure. While restraining Scorpion Li's doppelganger, he threw out the human emperor's seal and activated the fire of merit to envelop Scorpion Li's original body. He did not give Scorpion Li's soul a chance to escape. At the same time, he controlled the soul extinguishing slash to constantly affect the soul of Scorpion Li's original body. The battle was intense. Both sides were racing against time because every moment could change the outcome of the battle. Mo Tianji did not hold back at all. She suppressed Scorpion Li with her precept domain and attacked him crazily. Night Sorrow's doppelganger was not optimistic either. However, he was in a better situation than Scorpion Li. Scorpion Li's precept domain was suppressed, so were his movements and attacks. On the other hand, Scorpion Kwang's precept domain could not suppress Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow could still resist Scorpion Kwang's attacks with his precept domain. However, he would be injured every time he blocked an attack. Hold on. You need a little more time. A little more time. Mo Tianji cheered Night Sorrow on in her heart. She kept waving the long sword in her hand. Streaks of sword chi entered Scorpion Li's body and destroyed it continuously. Explode! Scorpion Li roared when he felt that his body could not hold on any longer. His original body was about to self-destruct. He wanted to give his soul a chance to survive. Kill! Night Sorrow's original body's soul extinguishing slash did not attack Scorpion Li's doppelganger. Instead, he and his doppelganger's soul extinguishing slash went for Scorpion Li's original body. At the same time, Mo Tianji's soul attack bombarded Scorpion Li's original body's divine sea. The demon scorpion race's skull was sturdy, but the soul attack's influence was still there. The soul attack hit his soul without any gap, stopping his self-destruction and his body's movements. Mo Tianji seized the opportunity and slashed out with her right hand, splitting Xie Li's head from the middle. When Scorpion Li's extremely weak soul floated out of the divine sea, Night Sorrow's fire of merit pounced on it and enveloped it. Slash again. Mo Tianji stabbed her sword into the fire of merit and shook violently. Annihilated. Scorpion Li's original body's soul was burned by the fire of merit. Coupled with Mo Tianji's sword, it was completely annihilated. Scorpion Li's doppelganger spat out a mouthful of blood. The death of his original body hurt him greatly. At the same time, Mo Tianji attacked Scorpion Li's doppelganger. Night Sorrow's original body used the space-time realm and rushed toward the doppelganger and Scorpion Kwang's battlefield. His doppelganger had already been hit. The doppelganger's right hand that was holding the spear had been injured twice. The doppelganger's energy circulation had become sluggish. If his original body did not help, his doppelganger would be killed passively. He was not as strong as Scorpion Li. After all, Scorpion Li's level was higher than his. Night Sorrow's original body used the space-time realm. When he reappeared, he was right in front of his doppelganger and used the primordial shattering slash. Scorpion King slash. Scorpion Kwang was furious. He could not accept the fact that Scorpion Li's original body had been slashed in front of him. With an explosion, Night Sorrow's original body was sent flying backward. At the same time, Night Sorrow's doppelganger held the blood-Kirin evil-slaying spear in his left hand and pounced again. You must die. Scorpion Kwang slashed with his saber again. Chapter 22:19. Come on. Night Sorrow's true body took a deep breath, suppressing his surging chi and blood, and charged toward Scorpion Kwang again. The battle turned into a 2-on-1 battle. Night Sorrow's human emperor's seal enveloped Scorpion Kwang's doppelganger, while Mo Tianji's fire of merit enveloped Scorpion Kwang's doppelganger in her precept domain. Scorpion Kwang's doppelganger became a target, and was constantly injured by Imo-Tianji. His injuries accumulated rapidly. Night Sorrow's true body and doppelganger unleashed their strongest state, and kept charging toward Scorpion Kwang. Every time he attacked, he would use the space-time realm to dodge Scorpion Kwang's blade aura. Then he would fight Scorpion Kwang head-on, preventing him from supporting Scorpion Kwang. Night Sorrow was also in a miserable state. Both his true body and doppelganger were injured. The corners of his mouth and his robes were covered in blood. Of course, these injuries were not caused by Scorpion Kwang's attacks. Most of them were caused by the impact of energy. Night Sorrow had used the human Dao ceremonies Tao Te Ching to enhance his merit Taoist body. Otherwise, his body would have been shattered by Scorpion Kwang's attacks. Scorpion Kwang was very annoyed. He kept slashing at Night Sorrow with his blade, and kept approaching the battle between Imo-Tianji and Scorpion Kwang. Imo-Tianji was no fool. She suppressed Scorpion Kwang, and kept retreating. Sometimes she even sent Scorpion Kwang flying, not giving him a chance to get close. When Night Sorrow was sent flying again and his true body and doppelganger were no longer able to fight, Imo-Tianji also finished her last attack and killed Scorpion Kwang, who was controlled by the fire of merit. She took Scorpion Kwang's spoils and charged toward him. She knew that Night Sorrow's situation was not good. His internal organs were severely injured, and all 4 arms of his true body and doppelganger were broken. Night Sorrow was risking his life to buy time for her to kill Scorpion Kwang. "Be careful, heavenly concubine," Night Sorrow shouted. The Haotian pagoda appeared and flew toward Imo-Tianji. His true body and doppelganger also flashed into it. Trying to run? Xie Kuang reached out with his left hand to capture the Haotian pagoda. However, the Haotian pagoda was flying toward Imo-Tianji. As soon as he controlled the pagoda to fly, Imo-Tianji arrived. She grabbed the Haotian pagoda with her left hand and put it in her clothes. Then, she started to fight with Xie Kuang. Inside the clear heaven pagoda, Yishang's true body and clone separated. Yishang's true body entered the highest level of time acceleration to speed up his recovery. His clone controlled the human emperor's seal to float above Xie Kuang's head with the human emperor's seal, suppressing him. Imo-Tianji waved her longsword, not giving Xie Kuang a chance to break the human emperor's seal. Scorpion Kwang was filled with anger and hatred. He was suppressed by the human sovereign's seal and his strength had decreased. Imo-Tianji was stronger than him, and did not give him the chance to break the human sovereign's seal. As the battle continued, Night Sorrow watched intently. It was a blessing for any cultivator to be able to witness a battle at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Many of the battles were the quintessence that cultivators yearned for even in their dreams. Of course, whether or not they could understand the battle was another matter. Cultivators at the King Realm could not see it clearly. Cultivators at the Imperial Realm could not understand it either. Night Sorrow was naturally not a problem. He could fight with cultivators at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Naturally, nothing could be hidden from him. Aren't you going to heal your injuries? A battle like this cannot be decided in a short time. Only when the damage accumulates to a certain extent can it affect the battle strength. Only then can the battle result be determined. Imo-Tianji's voice penetrated the clear sky pagoda. It's a rare opportunity to learn. My injuries have stabilized. I'm not in a hurry. Night Sorrow shook his head. He watched while recalling the enlightenment he had just gained. When he was fighting with Scorpion Kwang just now, the energy of the beginning of destruction / was constantly scattered. However, the scattered energy was mixed into one. The imperfect fusion had a point of connection. This gave Night Sorrow a direction to continue his deduction. Night Sorrow recalled Tran Heng's words. This might be the opportunity for him to break through the bottleneck. Of course, this opportunity did not come easily. Not everyone had the courage to dance on the tip of a blade like Night Sorrow. This was because one careless mistake could lead to death. It was a battle under high pressure. Imo-Tianji praised Night Sorrow in her heart. Her admiration for him increased. First of all, Night Sorrow's control of the battle situation was on point. Second, his personal ability. Since ancient times, No cultivator at the level of the tribulation of the 4 emperors dared to say that they could withstand a few moves from a cultivator at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. This was because they were too fragile. A single energy bombardment from a cultivator at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors could shatter the body of a cultivator at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. However, Knight Sorrow had withstood it. He was only injured. His origin and foundation were not damaged. This was too rare. It was a wise choice to give up on other things and watch the battle carefully. It was not easy to see a battle between cultivators at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Knight Sorrow watched the battle while recording it with a crystal ball. This was because he would analyze it later. This was also the path he would take in the future. Mo Tianji and Scorpion Kuang's battle lasted for a long time. After a day, Scorpion Kuang's combat strength had only decreased. Even if he was hit by 2 sword chi, Mo Tianji could not completely suppress him. However, Knight Sorrow knew that Scorpion Kuang would go downhill soon. His condition would deteriorate and he would be injured more and more. He would enter a cycle of nausea. When the injuries and energy reached a certain level, the outcome would be decided. Scorpion Kuang wanted to retreat, but Mo Tianji was too fast. Every time Scorpion Kuang tried to dodge, he would be intercepted by her. Tianji, you used to be famous. It's not baseless. Amazing. Knight Sorrow praised Mo Tianji. It's still too early, Mo Tianji replied. Knight Sorrow's main body was recovering. At the same time, he was researching the beginning annihilation slash. Although the low level of the peerless attribute was a huge factor, Scorpion Kuang's powerful impact had scattered the energy of the beginning annihilation slash. It had shaken them into one, giving Knight Sorrow an opportunity to make a breakthrough. At noon the next day, Scorpion Kuang's Dantian had been hit by Mo Tianji's sword. His condition had deteriorated and he was completely suppressed by Mo Tianji. Knight Sorrow knew that the outcome was about to be decided. However, it was hard to say if Mo Tianji could kill him. After all, the cultivators of the tribulation of the 9 emperors had many tricks up their sleeves. Mo Zhantian's escape from the celestial realm was an example. What are you thinking about? Mo Tianji's soul power had been paying attention to the clear sky pagoda. She noticed that Knight Sorrow was thinking and asked, if he burns his essence blood or soul power to escape, don't compete with him. It's not worth it to damage your origin. Knight Sorrow reminded Mo Tianji. So that's what you're thinking about. My battle with him is different from the battle between your uncle master and Mo Zhantian. The demon-winged clan has a pair of wings on their back. They are naturally fast. In addition, Mo Zhantian is burning his essence blood and power of faith. Your uncle master naturally can't catch up to him. However, even if Scorpion Kuang burns his essence blood, his speed won't be much faster than mine. Do you think he can escape? Mo Tianji's voice was filled with confidence. Scorpion Kuang was suppressed and seriously injured. He let out a furious roar. At this moment, Knight Sorrow's main body stood up. His injuries had healed. He planned to fight again. He wanted to organize his thoughts on the fusion of the beginning annihilation slash. On Chapter 1 equals. Chapter 22:20. Damn bastard. Scorpion Kuang scolded. They were in a passive position. Although Mo Tianji was powerful, Knight Sorrow had played a key role. If Knight Sorrow had not tried his best to stop him, he could have attacked Mo Tianji with Scorpion Li instead of Scorpion Li being killed by Mo Tianji. In addition, if the human emperor's seal had not been suppressing him, he would not have been in a passive position, which led to a vicious cycle. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, you're the bastard. You're a Tribulation 9 emperors who can't do anything to a Tribulation 4 emperors. Mo Tianji was displeased to see Scorpion Kuang scolding Knight Sorrow. She hated it when a cultivator talked with his strength. After being scolded by Mo Tianji, Scorpion Kuang did not know how to fight back, because Mo Tianji was right. He waved his saber angrily and attacked Knight Sorrow's true body. Knight Sorrow did not dodge at all. He was here to fight head-on and find an opportunity to break through the beginning's great destruction slash. Bang. With a muffled sound, the energy of Night Sorrow's beginning's great destruction / was dispersed and his body was sent flying. However, Scorpion Kwang was not in a good condition either. Not only was he invaded by the beginning's energy, but his chest was also pierced by Mo Tianji's longsword. Again, although the corner of his mouth was red and he was already injured, Yi Sorrow's second attack came. After 2 clashes, Night Sorrow did not have the ability to fight again. He flashed into the Haotian pagoda to meditate and heal himself. Then he continued to study the perfect fusion of the beginning's great destruction / brainless. Scorpion Kwang scolded when he saw Night Sorrow running away with injuries. You're the dumbest one. Can't you see that he's using you as a whetstone? He's playing with you. Mo Tianji mocked Scorpion Kwang. Scorpion Kwang did not know Night Sorrow's intention, but how could Mo Tianji not know? Hearing Mo Tianji's words, Kwang Xie was very angry. He could only vent his anger on the battle. However, the situation was getting worse and worse. Mo Tianji's energy had reached a certain amount in his body, and was constantly destroying it. Night Sorrow's main body was cultivating while recuperating from his injuries. His doppelganger was naturally recovering while watching the battle. The battle was still ongoing. Scorpion Kwang tried to escape by burning his essence blood, but even so, his speed was not at an advantage. Mo Tianji kept pestering him. In addition, when he burned his essence blood to fight, Mo Tianji would avoid him and fight conservatively. When he stopped burning his essence blood, Mo Tianji would come and attack him. She would not give him a chance to escape or catch his breath. As soon as Night Sorrow's main body recovered from its injuries, it came out to kill. After the second kill, Night Sorrow's main body flashed into the Haotian godly pagoda and laughed. After the last clash, his primordial shattering / had truly completed the fusion, and fulfilled the feeling of Tran Hung. While Night Sorrow was recuperating and cultivating, Scorpion Kwang was gradually losing. He was constantly suppressed by Mo Tianji's attacks and his body was full of holes. You won't have it easy either. Knowing that he could not hold on any longer, Scorpion Kwang roared and self-destructed. This time Mo Tianji and Night Sorrow could not control it. After all, the soul of the tribulation of 9 emperors was too strong, and would not be easily affected. At the critical moment, Mo Tianji grabbed the human emperor's seal in the air with her left hand, and used her precept domain to protect herself. She floated back and avoided the energy impact of Scorpion Kwang's self-destruction. Then, she threw the human emperor's seal at Scorpion Kwang's soul like a hidden weapon. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. The human emperor's seal wrapped in Mo Tianji's energy hit Scorpion Kwang's soul. As Scorpion Kwang's soul trembled, the golden characters outside the human emperor's seal flashed. The fire of merit appeared and enveloped Scorpion Kwang's soul. Scorpion Kwang's soul kept cursing in the space, but Mo Tianji did not care. She slashed at Scorpion Kwang's soul in the fire of merit with her longsword. Night Sorrow, his main body, and his doppelganger also appeared. Although they were not in good condition, they could still use their spears. The Samsara halberd and the Bloodkirin evil-slaying spear kept attacking Scorpion Kwang's soul in the fire of merit. After a while, Scorpion Kwang's soul dissipated. The battle is over. Just as you predicted, Mo Tianji said as she wiped the sweat off her forehead. She had been fighting for almost 3 days, and it had been very tiring for her. You did well, Night Sorrow said to Mo Tianji with a smile. You did even better, Mo Tianji said. You killed the 2 of them. You were the most important part. She felt that it was very strange. When she was young, she had gone out to train and had teamed up with others before, but she had never cooperated so well with Night Sorrow. The 2 of them didn't even need to communicate to know how to cooperate, and what the other was thinking. Haha, drink a jar of wine and take a rest. Night Sorrow laughed. He was very excited and felt a sense of accomplishment after killing the cultivators from the tribulation of 7 emperors and tribulation of 9 emperors with Mo Tianji. What made him happiest was that he had successfully integrated the primordial destruction / although it was still lacking, it would not be a problem after practicing for a while. Mo Tianji smiled. She felt that this kind of battle was the charm of diligent cultivation. The battle was incisive and it was the perfect combination of battle tactics and strength. After sorting out the spoils of war from Xiequang and Xieli, Night Sorrow and Night Sorrow's eyes were full of disdain. They were too poor. Other than the limited refining materials, there was nothing good. Fortunately, these 2 crystal cores are not bad. Otherwise, killing them would be a hassle. Mo Tianji said as she threw the 2 crystal cores to Night Sorrow. Keep them for fun. The crystal cores of the cultivators from the tribulation of 9 emperors are the affirmation of your splendid battle record. Night Sorrow threw the crystal cores to Mo Tianji. That's true. It's hard to kill the cultivators from the tribulation of 9 emperors. These crystal cores are the glory. Mo Tianji nodded. You should carve the words Mo Tianji too, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Mo Tianji shook her head. In the celestial realm and the 9 domains world, the word Mo is hated and misunderstood. I will be called Heavenly Concubine from now on. It has nothing to do with Mo, Heavenly Concubine. That's a good name. Night Sorrow nodded and watched Heavenly Concubine carve the words on the crystal cores. After carving the words on the crystal cores, Night Sorrow and Heavenly Concubine rushed back to the camp. However, Night Sorrow's original body and doppelganger had entered the Clear Sky Pagoda to heal. His injuries weren't serious, but in this critical period, it was necessary to maintain peak combat strength. When Heavenly Concubine returned, Wu Lingfei and the others asked anxiously when they didn't see Night Sorrow. He's fine. He's a little injured and is healing. Heavenly Concubine took out the Clear Sky Pagoda and placed it on the table in the commander's tent. Are you okay? Wu Lingfei asked Heavenly Concubine. Thank you. I'm fine. Heavenly Concubine was stunned. She didn't expect Wu Lingfei to care about her. This feeling surprised her. It's good that you're fine. Let's not talk about our success or failure. First, everyone's safety, Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 22-21. You don't have to be so polite. We're going to fight side by side. Besides, Night Sorrow treats you as a friend, so I treat you the same. Wu Lingfei smiled and pushed the crystal core back. Since you treat me as a friend, then take it as a small accessory. Heavenly Concubine stuffed the crystal core into Mo Tianji's hand. Update. And new F latest 2 fast /_. This is a crystal core? The energy it contains is terrifying. And the words, they're very new. Wu Lingfei said in surprise after looking at the crystal core. It's a crystal core. Today, Night Sorrow and I worked together to kill a cultivator. It's a milestone for me. I'm giving it to a friend who cares about me. It's very meaningful. Heavenly Concubine said. Then I'll take it. We're friends, so I can't reject good intentions. Wu Lingfei smiled and looked at the crystal core. 3 days later, Yi Shang, who had been recuperating inside the Clear Sky Pagoda for nearly half a year, had perfectly fused the beginning annihilation slash, and had fully recovered from his injuries, came out of his closed-door training. He was in high spirits at this time. He was very satisfied with the return of such a difficult battle. In the command tent, Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei were chatting. Wu Lingfei was also playing with the crystal core. Night Sorrow, how's your recovery? Wu Lingfei asked when she saw Night Sorrow appear. Very good. Not only did I gain from killing enemies, but I also gained from cultivation. Night Sorrow smiled and stretched his waist. Then he saw the crystal core in Wu Lingfei's hand. Heavenly Concubine gave it to me. Does it look good? Wu Lingfei showed the crystal core to Night Sorrow. Of course it looks good. Not to mention the future, it should be the only one in the entire celestial realm right now. It's very meaningful. It's also a proof of Heavenly Concubine's cultivation path. I'll give it to you. It shows how good she is to you. Night Sorrow smiled. Wu Lingfei was stunned. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, she knew that the crystal core in her hand wasn't simple. It's the crystal core of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Killing the tribulation of the 9 emperors is a milestone for the Heavenly Concubine. Night Sorrow explained, seeing that Wu Lingfei didn't know. Heavenly Concubine, I can't take this. It's too important to you. After knowing the whole story and the meaning of this crystal core, Wu Lingfei handed it to the Heavenly Concubine. When you asked me if I was okay, we were friends. To me this is very important. It's just a gift. Just accept it. The heavenly concubine smiled. Don't you still have the tribulation of the 7 emperors? Give that to me and keep this one. Wu Lingfei still insisted, but in a different way. Heavenly concubine, then let's do as my Aunt Fei says. That's not bad either. Night Sorrow said with a smile. The heavenly concubine nodded and took out Xie Li's crystal core. She engraved a few words on it and gave it to the spirit concubine. She signed it as the heavenly concubine. I like this one. Wu Lingfei smiled. Has there been any movement from the demon scorpion army in the past few days? Night Sorrow asked. Wu Lingfei shook her head. There really hadn't been any movement in the past few days. We killed Xie Li's original body and doppelganger. Xie Kuang didn't have a doppelganger, so the news shouldn't have spread. Rest well, then we can take action. The heavenly concubine said. After drinking some water, Night Sorrow thought for a moment. It's not suitable for a large group to take action now. We don't know how many tribulation of the 9 emperors there are, and how many cultivators can pose a threat to our group. We must first kill their high-level members, then move out and kill them. Okay. Then let's take the group with similar cultivation? Wu Lingfei asked. I'll go find Long Jin. Night Sorrow went out of the main tent and called Lin Chuan, Long Jin, Lin Yun, and Tian Yu into the tent. He told them to gather the brothers above tribulation of the 9 emperors to fight later. Of course, there weren't many above tribulation of the 9 emperors. After the group was gathered, Night Sorrow explained the situation and let everyone feel the heavenly concubine's soul power. If there was a situation, they couldn't resist the pull of the heavenly concubine's soul power. This way, it would be easier for the heavenly concubine to rescue them. The members of the First Army and the God-slaying squad obeyed Night Sorrow's orders. Then Night Sorrow told the rest of the group to wait. He, the heavenly concubine, Wu Lingfei, and Lin Chuan led a few others with decent cultivation to the encampment of the demon scorpion army. This time they weren't going to scout. They were going to kill directly. The demon scorpion army had more than 10,000 people, but the members were mainly king and the emperor. There weren't many tribulation of the 9 emperors, and even fewer tribulation of the 9 emperors. Massacre. Night Sorrow led the group to kill the upper echelons of the demon scorpion race. The weaker members of the demon scorpion race didn't dare to go forward. The difference in cultivation was too great. If they went forward, they would die. Therefore Night Sorrow and the others weren't surrounded. They killed their way in and out of the demon scorpion race. Captain, call the others over. I feel like there's nothing wrong here, Long Jin shouted to Night Sorrow. Whose clone or main body is in the encampment? Bring the troops over and kill them. Night Sorrow shouted behind him. Then his clones and clones charged towards the demon scorpion race from different directions. He didn't defend at all. Because of the suppression of the precept domain and his tyrannical body, those with lower cultivation couldn't pose a threat to him. After 10 minutes, the First Army and the God-slaying team arrived. They began to kill the demon scorpion race that had lost their will to fight. For hours later, the demon scorpion race's troops were gone. Half of them had been killed, and the other half had run away. Night Sorrow led the group forward and found a special enchantment that he could enter. Heavenly Concubine and Wuling Concubine could enter as well. The others who approached were pushed back by the impact of the energy. Tianyu, who didn't believe it, was almost injured. It's the enchantment of the world tree. We can't force our way in. Alright, everyone, set up camp here. Night Sorrow gave the order to set up camp. If they wanted to get close to the world tree, they couldn't force their way in. Night Sorrow knew this. Tran Hung had already told him. If they could force their way in, Tran Hung and Scorpion Kuang would have gotten close. They wouldn't have waited for them to arrive. Night Sorrow looked at the world tree in the distance. The world tree was too big. Night Sorrow estimated that the world tree covered an area with a radius of more than 10,000 miles. The central area was hazy and couldn't be explored. It was blocked by layers of space. Night Sorrow, I tried just now. Although I can enter, the resistance is very strong. What about you? Heavenly Concubine looked at Night Sorrow and asked. At first there was. When I activated the virtuous immortal body, which should be called the virtuous Tao body now, The pressure decreased. Night Sorrow said. Heavenly Concubine thought for a moment and said, "It seems that you still have a big advantage. The possibility of me getting close to Wuling Concubine is lower." Chapter 22-22. They had just fought a battle. Although the battle wasn't very intense, everyone was exhausted. Every cultivator had the awareness to fight in their best condition. If they couldn't solve the problem in their best condition, then it was because they weren't strong enough. There was no regret. After everyone recovered, Night Sorrow let Wu Lingfei's doppelganger stay behind with Long Jin to command the team. He brought Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei's original body in. "Captain, be careful." Long Jin looked at Night Sorrow and said, "You'll have to work harder with the team. Safety comes first. Everything else is trivial," Yishan said to Long Jin. Long Jin nodded. After being brothers for so long, Long Jin understood Night Sorrow. He knew what Night Sorrow cared about the most. Tianyu Yi Mei Liangyu cooperate with Long Jin. After Night Sorrow said that, he led Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei towards the barrier of trees. Then the three of them passed through the barrier. "The difference? They can go in, but we don't even have the right to." Ling Long sighed. Back in the day, she, Night Sorrow, and Yun Huang were the leaders of the younger generation in Tianji Tower. Now there was a difference between her and Yun Huang, but it wasn't big. However, the difference between her and Night Sorrow was indescribable. "Let's not look at the captain. Let's look at the others. We're already doing very well," Lei Bao said with a smile. Ling Long nodded. In fact, there weren't many cultivators in the celestial realm who were stronger than Night Sorrow, let alone them. "Let's set up camp here. Also, let the spies out. We don't want other cultivators to suddenly appear and catch us off guard. That would be embarrassing," Long Jin said. Following Long Jin's arrangement, the team started to set up camp. The spies were also sent out. Safety came first. They weren't in the 9-domain world, and they weren't in the celestial realm. They had to be on guard. "Imperial Concubine, do you have any other arrangements?" Long Jin looked at Wu Lingfei and asked. Whether it was the former members of the God-slaying team, or those who had joined later, they all had a good relationship with Wu Lingfei and respected her greatly. "You've done a good job. I'm not as good as you in these matters. You can make the decision." Wu Lingfei smiled. "Everyone is worried about you. If anything happens, let us know." Long Jin nodded at Wu Lingfei. After Night Sorrow's trio entered the barrier, they started moving forward. Each of them had a different feeling. "Night Sorrow, there's a lot of pressure," Wu Lingfei said. "Should I try adding soul power into my domain?" Night Sorrow said. He and the Heavenly Concubine had precept domains, while Wu Lingfei was at the Imperial Tribulation Realm and had yet to come into contact with precept domains. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Wu Lingfei did as she was told. When her soul force was added to the domain, the pressure was reduced. The so-called spirituality is mainly in the soul. Only by releasing your soul force can you display your spirituality to the fullest, Night Sorrow said. The Heavenly Concubine also released her soul force. Her cultivation was high, but the pressure had little to do with her cultivation. It mainly depended on her spirituality. The World Tree's suppression on her was also very strong. On the other hand, Night Sorrow was much better. At the beginning, he didn't use any defense. The World Tree's energy attacked his body, but it passed after a while. There was only a small amount of pressure. The Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei naturally saw Night Sorrow's situation. They knew that this was the power of merit. The Heavenly Tao and all living things recognized him. The World Tree was no exception. "I really can't be envious." The Heavenly Concubine shook her head. Night Sorrow's path couldn't be copied by others. He had a good foundation. After having the foundation of a body of merit, he cultivated his body and virtue. He had been benefiting the living beings around him, causing his merit to constantly deepen. The three of them advanced very slowly. Night Sorrow's situation aside, Wu Lingfei and the Heavenly Concubine couldn't. They were greatly suppressed. Unspecified currency look. Regular A edition. K Super D/. There's no danger here. "Let's move forward slowly," said Night Sorrow. It's not absolute. There are many life forms that covet the world tree. Some of them are born with it. There's black and white in the world. Life forms are also opposites. The world tree is a Holy Spirit object. It's very easy for it to be accompanied by something. It's definitely incomparably evil. If it's born with the world tree, then it must be inside the world tree barrier. We have to be careful, said the heavenly concubine. She had lived for 9 eras. 900 billion years was an extremely long time. Therefore, Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei couldn't compare to her. She understood some things. Then it seems that we have to be careful. Night Sorrow didn't expect this situation. Yes. The world tree grows by absorbing the energy in the void. When it absorbs energy, it will also be absorbed by the life forms near it. Therefore, it will definitely grow quickly. We have to be careful. The appearance of the world tree is a great opportunity, but it's also a great risk, said the heavenly concubine. Night Sorrow nodded. Then he released his merit Dao domain and wrapped it around the heavenly concubine and Wu Lingfei, hoping to reduce the pressure on them. In fact, the effect wasn't obvious. The energy in the world tree barrier was like a wave that constantly slammed in all directions. Night Sorrow's merit Dao domain was also permeated by this energy. This energy didn't suppress Night Sorrow, but it continued to suppress the heavenly concubine and Wu Lingfei. The world tree's spirituality is too strong. It has a natural ability to distinguish. Therefore, this kind of thing can't be hidden. It's just like how it can't be hidden from the spatial world, said the heavenly concubine. In the beginning, Night Sorrow had mentioned using a spatial treasure, but the heavenly concubine had clearly said that it couldn't be done. Spatial treasures couldn't resist the permeation of the world's origin power. It was the same principle as if someone used a spatial treasure to bring a cultivator who exceeded Night Sorrow's cultivation into the 9 regions world. It couldn't be hidden from detection. Now Night Sorrow couldn't help Wu Lingfei and the heavenly concubine even if he wanted to. Then get behind me. My body can block some of the energy's repulsion. Night Sorrow took 2 steps forward and stood in front of Wu Lingfei and the heavenly concubine. It was effective. Because the energy in the world tree barrier was weak against Night Sorrow, Night Sorrow's body blocked it, and the power was greatly reduced. Heavenly concubine, the world tree can control such a vast amount of energy in the world tree barrier. How strong is she? Night Sorrow didn't quite understand because the energy in the world tree barrier was too vast and majestic. It's hard to say. She's naturally good at controlling power. You know my cultivation. Even if I force it, it's useless. I'll definitely be repelled. You see the wavy lines in front? They can fold space at any time. It's impossible to force it, explained the heavenly concubine to Night Sorrow. Chapter 22-23. Night Sorrow was in front, leading the heavenly concubine and Wu Lingfei forward. However, their speed was very slow. Even if they could withstand it, Night Sorrow couldn't ignore the energy suppression in the world of trees. While moving forward, Night Sorrow also released his soul power to investigate. The heavenly concubine said there was danger, so he had to be careful. After 2,000 miles, another obstacle appeared. It was a spatial barrier. It was the world tree's second line of defense. The first was the world of trees boundary, and the second was the overlapping space. Night Sorrow used his space-time power to tear open space and continue forward. After 3,000 miles, Night Sorrow saw the spatial barrier. After tearing it open, before Night Sorrow could continue forward, Wu Lingfei made Night Sorrow look back. When he looked back, Night Sorrow knew why Wu Lingfei was surprised. It was because through the wavy line, Night Sorrow saw the footprints he left when he tore open space. 3,000 miles is just a line? Night Sorrow turned to look at the heavenly concubine. Yes, this is the virtual space. It looks like a line to us, but it's not like that inside. It's the same principle as a storage ring. This is the world tree's defense method. If the world tree matures, then this virtual space will be infinitely large. This 3,000 miles is an immature method, said the heavenly concubine. Night Sorrow looked at the countless lines in front of him and felt a headache coming on. They were all spatial worlds. It was very difficult to pass through them. This is a difficult task in itself. The heavenly concubine shook her head at Night Sorrow. She was afraid that Night Sorrow would lose confidence. Night Sorrow continued forward with the heavenly concubine and Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow didn't use any energy to protect himself. Now he used his merit Dao body to counteract the impact of the pressure. Heavenly concubine and Wu Ling concubine, who were behind Yishang, felt less pressure. They knew that Yishang was doing this to lessen their pressure. If it wasn't for the fact that their chances would increase, they wouldn't have needed to follow. Night Sorrow, there are so many spatial lines. It's very difficult. Wu Lingfei said. I'll take care of this. If there's a fight, we'll fight together. Night Sorrow nodded to Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow kept rushing forward, crossing one spatial line after another. In reality, he had only advanced less than 1,000 miles. The World Tree's ability to control the world origin is too strong. It's very difficult to get close to it, Night Sorrow said as he flew. Although Night Sorrow felt pressure while flying, he felt that his body was very smooth. What was attacking his body was the world's origin energy. It was a baptism for his body, a rare opportunity. Of course, not just anyone could do it. The heavenly concubine and Wu Ling concubine didn't dare to let this energy attack them. The world's origin energy was too tyrannical and would harm their bodies. Although it was difficult, Night Sorrow was very excited. He knew what the world tree was and what it represented. Not to mention taking the whole tree. Even taking a root was incredible. With such an opportunity in front of him, he naturally had to give it his all. As Night Sorrow flew forward, the Celestial Realm's 100 races and Scarlet Sky Realm's 100 races fought. The Celestial Realm's 100 races sent out all their elites and launched a thunderous attack on Scarlet Sky Realm. The main reason was to end the battle before the Demon Wing clan received the news. This way, they could focus on defending against the Demon Wing clan. In addition, Demon Wing clan's Emojantian had been chased by King Yewu and was severely injured. It would be difficult for him to recover in a short period of time. The Celestial Realm's 100 races elites, under the leadership of Tranhung and King Yewu, did not use any strategy. They directly attacked Scarlet Sky City. Tranhung fought with Yuqing. King Yewu directly suppressed Tang Bing's attack. King Tianxing, Bloodland King, and White Tiger King directly slaughtered the other elites of Scarlet Sky Realm. After seeing the strength of the Celestial Realm's 100 races, Yuqing's face changed. Shameless. You have such power. Why are you still talking about peace with us? In Yuqing's mind, Tranhung came to negotiate because they were not strong enough. Tranhung was a tribulation of 9 emperors cultivator. It was difficult for a single person to make a boat. But now it was not the case at all. I gave you a chance to coexist peacefully. But if you don't want to, then all of you can die. Tranhung waved the long sword in his hand and began to suppress Yuqing. $$ original de Butron Hung was the city lord of Heavenly Baron City. He was the leader of the 100 races of Celestial Realm. He was also the most powerful person. Yuqing was suppressed directly. Tang Bing was a tribulation of 8 emperors cultivator. His strength was relatively strong, but he was not enough in front of King Yewu. King Yewu's 3 clones of tribulation of 9 emperors was cultivated as one. How could he resist? After the fight, King Yewu destroyed his original body in an instant. His clone realized that the situation was not good. It did not run far before it was restrained by White Tiger King. White Tiger King was not Tang Bing's opponent, but it could still restrain him. When Tang Bing repelled White Tiger King, King Yewu also caught up. What awaited Tang Bing was the fate of death. Tang Bing originally thought that discovering the Supreme World was an opportunity. He did not expect that it would be a dead end. King Yewu, who had killed Tang Bing, cooperated with Tranhung, who had suppressed Yuqing, and began to attack Yuqing. This was a war, not a personal competition. So there was no face or morality. Knowing that the situation was not good, Yuqing shouted, "Retreat. We, the Crimson Night Realm, will not invade your world in the future." Tranhung and King Yewu did not speak, but the attacks in their hands were very fast. They could cooperate when the war was not started. Now that they had fallen out, The most important thing was to eliminate the threat. Yu Qing was not a match for either Tran Heng or King Yewu, let alone now that the two of them had joined forces. His situation was precarious. After a while, Tran Heng's sword cut off his left arm. Then King Yewu's divine spear pierced through his back. A big hole was blasted from his shoulder to his chest. Knowing that he would die if he did not run, Yu Qing used his soul to leave his body. He used the self-destruction of his flesh to escape. Break! Yu Qing's soul ran very fast, but King Yewu's divine spear was even faster. The flying spear directly penetrated his soul, and more than half of his soul power was annihilated in one shot. I am irreconcilable with you, Empress Li said. Before Tran Heng and King Yewu arrived, Yu Qing's soul flew away quickly again. We are not afraid of you when you are at your peak. Why would we be afraid of your soul without a body? If you dare to appear again, we will kill you. Tran Heng's voice rumbled in the space. It was a warning to Yu Qing. Yewu, you take people to clean up here. I will go back to Tianhuang City first. It is too empty there. Tran Heng said. He still could not let go of Tianhuang City, because it was the gateway to the war with the Demon Wing clan. You're tuning into the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.